member institutions committed to excellence and the promise of the future. The Southeastern Conference, where champions are made.
Florida State, Florida. A game once played for state bragging rights. Now it is the game that helps define the national championship landscape. In 1993, the Seminoles came into the swamp and handed the Gators a rare home defeat on their way to their first and only national title. Florida State, Florida, a game in which no lead is ever safe. In 1994, the Seminoles shocked the Gators with a 28-point fourth quarter comeback for a stunning 31-31 tie that felt like a victory. Florida State, Florida, a game in which pain is the price paid for glory. In 1996, in a battle of unbeatens, the Seminoles battered Danny Werfel into submission to complete a perfect regular season. Florida State, Florida, a game in which the only thing sweeter than victory is redemption. The 1997 Sugar Bowl. Florida wins its first national title at the expense of its most bitter rival. Florida State, Florida, a game in which emotion means more than the records. 2 years ago, with the Seminoles on the verge of a national title, they were upset by a spirited Gator squad. Florida State, Florida, the rivalry of the decade and the game of the year. It's Florida State versus Florida, the Home Depot college football on CBS Sports. In this state, they do know the players without a program, but you can't get in without a ticket. And today, 85,000 lucky fans will be inside the swamp to watch the chop and the chomp. And the final home game for 16 University of Florida seniors, including emotional quarterback Doug Johnson. They're ready to get after each other again as the Gators play host to the Seminoles in the swamp. The Seminoles already on the field, ranked #1 with a record of 10-0, still in search of the first ever perfect season for Bobby Bowden. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us for this, the most important game of this college football regular season. And these two teams are accustomed to being in that spot. As a matter of fact, 4 times in this decade, the winner of this game has gone on to play for the national title. That's likely to be the case again this year. Florida State, a solid #1 in the BCS standings. If they win this one, they'll go to the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans and play for the national championship. Florida, with a win today and a victory in the SEC championship game 2 weeks from now, would likely go to the national championship game as well. I'm joined by the proud Papa, Todd Blackledge. We congratulate Todd and Sherry on the birth of their son last night. Everybody in the country who likes college football has had their analysis by now in the hype leading up to this game. How about your keys to the game?
Well, I think there's 4 things that I really want to pay attention to in this ball game that will determine the winner. #1, offensive line play. Which offensive line plays the best? It'll show up in the running game and pass protection. Secondly, third down conversions. Last year in this ball game, Florida was 0 for 13 in their loss. They haven't done well lately. Special teams, does either team gain an edge, a big play or an error? And finally, yards after contact. There's a lot of elusive players in this game, runners and receivers. The defenses must tackle well.
And here come the Gators at 9-1. They've won at least 9 games in each of Steve Spurrier's 10 years as head coach. And we've already had our first hard hit of the afternoon on the cameraman in the end zone. And when we talk about elusive players and yards after catch, you have to think first and foremost about Peter Warrick, the All-American wide receiver for Florida State. Looks to be back in form after serving that 2-game suspension.
Yeah, I think he is back. 9 catches, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns in his final home game in Tallahassee last week. And he's back as the most explosive player in college football when he gets his hands on the ball. He can hurt you in so many ways. He's scored touchdowns 4 different ways this year. Catching it, throwing it, running it, also returning kicks. He's got got great make-you-miss ability, and Florida State does a great job of creating ways to get him the football in different places in space and letting him use his skills. He took over this game last year. Bobby Bowden hopes he does the same thing this year.
The big story all week here in Gainesville, the quarterback situation for the Florida Gators. Doug Johnson was the starter for the first 9 games of the season. Last week, Jesse Palmer started against South Carolina. We expect to see both today.
Yeah, the problems have been with execution and decision-making. That's why Steve's going to play them both today. Probably will alternate every play to start off and find who has the hot hand. He can do that in order to coach them up on the sidelines, make sure they've got their reads down. But it doesn't matter which one of these guys play. They're the same kind of quarterbacks. Florida State has to prepare for the guy with the visor. He's the one calling the plays. He's the one who's going to try to find the weakness in the Seminole defense. I think he'll take the wraps off this offense a little more today.
We have coverage on each sideline. Let's begin on the...
Watch this guy out here. You're going to see good blocking out there. 83 Parham, nice job, but watch him work there, Rich. And Donnie Mack, you got to love that.
Great play by Peterson, but one of the things you have to credit is Greg Hill turning his back. Linebacker coming fast. He gets it off. Great play by Hill to get it off to Peterson. And once again, this kid, you can't say anything more about the effort that this kid is putting in, especially with an injured toe.
You're absolutely right, Donnie Mack. Quarterback Hill, great job.
You know this crowd can do one thing, bring the noise. When we talked to Bobby Bowden about the crowd noise, he said 2 things. Number 1, very happy that his team got to go to Death Valley, Clemson, earlier this year. Said it prepared them for this game. Number 2, he talked about 1991. They had 1st and goal on the 1-yard line in this stadium. Noise made somebody jump on a touchdown run, brought it back 5 yards, settled for the field goal. They lost that game 14-9. Hey, Todd and Sean, hope your guys' voice brought their A game today.
Well, he certainly brought beautiful weather. 79 degrees at kickoff. Not particularly humid. There is a little bit of a breeze and a 20% chance of showers. We had a very brief sprinkle earlier this afternoon, but right now a delightful day. Florida leads the series. It began in 1958. For many years, Florida State was an all-female institution. Sebastian Janikowski kicks off. Florida State won the toss and deferred, so Florida receives. John Capel downs it in the end zone. And that's no surprise. The touchback is more than 68% of Sebastian Janikowski's kickoffs have not been returned this year. He's a great weapon on special teams. Doug Johnson will play at least the first play, and we'll take it from there. The senior had a firm grasp on the starting job for the first 9 games of the year. Jesse Palmer took over last week against South Carolina. We expect to see them rotate, perhaps play-by-play, as they did 2 years ago with Johnson and Noah Brindise in their win against Florida State. Quick pass caught by Darrell Jackson, the Gators' leading receiver, with his 58th catch of the year. And a first down out to the 31, a gain of 11. Brian Allen made the tackle, and as we suspected, Jesse Palmer comes in for the second play, the junior from Nepean, Ontario. He is experienced. He was the starter for the first 6 games of last season before he broke his clavicle in a game against LSU. He came off the bench in the Orange Bowl when Doug Johnson broke his leg. Ernest Graham, the redshirt freshman, the Gators' leading rusher, stuffed for no gain. The rest of the Gator offense. Rod Frazier is a blocking fullback, has no carries this season. Travis Taylor, their best receiver when healthy, but he's been bothered by an ankle injury most of the year. And up front, many believe the best offensive line for Florida is Spurrier's 10 years, with Corey Yarbrough in the middle, Carlisle and Blackshear the guards, Walker and Pearson are the tackles. Ryan Kalick, the veteran offensive lineman, is dressed today, but Coach Spurrier doesn't think he'll play very much. He's going to need injury. A loss on another running play as Graham was tripped up in the backfield by Tommy Polley. And the Florida State defense, the strength of the front, the tackles, Jerry Johnson and the All-American Corey Simon, with Seymour and Reynolds also outstanding outside. The linebackers are the 3 leading tacklers on the team, Jennings between Allen and Polley. The secondary has given up some big plays. Edwards, Key, Gibson, and Cody. Last 3 games, Florida has been abysmal on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 12 with Palmer at the helm. He stepped up away from the rush, throws behind his target, incomplete. And a flag comes down. Chris Hope apparently guilty of pass interference on Alex Willis.
Palmer did a nice job of eluding pressure, buying some extra time, and there is early contact. Well before the ball gets there, a good call. Chris Hope trying to make a play. Alex Willis did a nice job of shielding the defender with his body and drawing the contact. And for Steve Spurrier, he'll take a third down conversion any way he can get it right now. You saw that 7 of his last 39. That's why the offense has struggled. They can't stay on the field. They can't sustain drives because they've been very poor on third down.
It is an Atlantic Coast Conference officiating crew led by the referee, Courtney Mawsey. Florida State Seminoles play in the ACC. They are the champions of the ACC for the 8th year in a row. Johnson back at quarterback going deep for Travis. Corner is off his hands and incomplete with Cleveland Thomas in coverage, and one of the frustrations for Spurrier this year, a lot of drop balls.
Well, this is a ball that was slightly underthrown by Doug Johnson. They had a blitz on Florida State. He knew he had single coverage, and Taylor had beaten his man. But he had to wait for the football a little bit, and that allowed the defender to get his hand back in there and knock it away. Had what they wanted, just a slight underthrow by Doug Johnson.
Now Jesse Palmer in on 2nd and 10, just underway in the first quarter. And no score. The home team has won the last 4 meetings. Palmer, short pass, complete to Bo Carroll, who just checked in at tailback. And he's into Seminole territory at the 48, about 1.5 yards short of the first down.
One of the things I think that creates problems for Florida State, I think sometimes they lose track of backs coming out of the backfield. They're such in a hurry to get up the field and to rush the passer, sometimes they forget about the back. And that time, a nice job by Florida getting Carroll right into that soft spot against the defense.
Carroll's the speedier threat at tailback, and a flag before the snap. Ernest Graham, who started at tailback, more of an inside power runner. Seminoles clapping. Apparently it was the Gator side a bit anxious along the line.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Remains third down.
Florida was trying to go on a quick count that time, Sean, trying to get the play off before Florida State was set. But you have to make sure everybody is set on your offensive team before you snap the football. Therefore, the 5-yard penalty.
Florida, in the game last year, their loss to the Seminoles in Tallahassee, did not convert on third down. They've already accomplished that feat. Now it's 3rd and 7 after the penalty. Palmer had to throw onto duress, and it's too high for Travis Taylor along the far sideline. Jamal Reynolds was putting heat on. Brian Allen had the coverage downfield on Taylor.
We're going to see 3 quarterbacks in this ball game. Johnson and Palmer for Florida, Chris Weinke for Florida State. None of them are very effective when they're getting flushed out of the pocket. When they have to get on the horse and move outside and throw the football, none of them are very accurate throwing. They're all pure pocket passers.
Peter Warwick back for the punt from Allen Ryan. Ryan's been bothered by back spasm, but he's going to give it a go today. Wisely takes it away from Warwick, and is out of bounds right along the 20-yard line. A 33-yard punt by the junior from Sebring, Florida, Ryan. So Florida State will be on offense for the first time when we come back.
Chevy Blazer. A little security in an insecure world. Blazer, like a rock.
Here's your regular internet homepage. And here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo, Excite, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
Very loyal to this site. I'm not going to abandon it for some new guy with a truckload of cash.
You're kidding.
Of course. Do I look like an idiot? Look at this cash.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
I want to thank the people at the food bank for all the food you've been bringing me. especially the tangerines. I've been sick, and they've been a wonderful surprise.
For over 20 years, Kraft, part of the Philip Morris family of companies, has been a leader in the fight against hunger. After all, who's better suited to feed the hungry than America's largest food company, working to make a difference? The people of Philip Morris.
A lot can change in 28 years. If you had invested $10,000 in American Century's Growth Fund in 1971, it would be worth a cool $1.3 million today. Our advice? Hang in there, baby. Call 1-888-ACI-FUNDS for your investment professional.
Divisional duels dominate. The Pats fight back against the Dolphins. The Seahawks streak into KC, where the Chiefs are unbeatable. Sunday on CBS.
Back in the swamp in deafening noise as Florida State goes on offense for the first time. Chris Weinke sets up a screen to Travis Minor. And a gain of 6 before Andre Davis made the tackle. Weinke, the junior from St. Paul, Minnesota, but 27 years old. He spent 5 years in the Toronto Blue Jays organization playing baseball. And he's in his second year as the starting quarterback at FSU.
He is big, John. I mean, he is a big dude. I mean, he's not a kid. He's a man, and he is big.
On 2nd and 4, Weinke throws again, and it's too high for Peter Warrick. Benny Alexander had coverage. He's the best cover corner for the Gators, and he'll have his hands full today with the nation's best receiver, Warrick. Warrick and another outstanding player outside, Ron Dugans, Brian Sprague, the tight end, Dan Kendra, the former quarterback, now the fullback. And up front, Thomas in the middle, Amon Whitaker, Thomas, and Williams. The rest of the offensive line, 3rd and 4.
Florida's confused on this 3rd down play.
Weinke trying to audible, very difficult to do here. And it looked like the Gators were offside. Alex Brown across the line. And the ball alertly snapped by the center, Eric Thomas.
Very smart move by Eric Thomas, the center. The best thing that Alex Brown does is anticipate the snap count. He's even better at it at home with the crowd noise. That's where he makes his big plays, getting off the football. And the center saw him come across the neutral zone and snap the football. That's a good way to try to slow down number 13.
Florida's 9-1, Florida State 10-0, but you get the sense that neither team, the coaching staff, its players, or fans are satisfied with the way that seasons have gone for the respective teams. The big problem for Florida, turnovers and penalties, and they've hurt themselves a couple of times. That penalty gave the Seminoles a first down, and they're on offense. They turned that 3rd down and 2 into a 3rd and 7 and did not convert. Travis Minor tackled by Eugene McCaslin. The front for Florida, Alex Brown has 12 sacks, a half sack shy of the single-season Florida record. Davis is their 2nd leading tackler between McCaslin and Kelsey. Into the secondary, Alexander Manuel, their leading tackler. Dixon, a true freshman, and Cromartie. Out of the gun on 2nd and 9. And the snap dropped by Weinke, then he gets buried by Eugene McCaslin.
McCaslin is right here. Watch him come on the outside blitz along with Thaddeus Bullard. The snap over the head, and then Weinke turns right in to Eugene McCaslin. Can't collect the football, and then does a nice job at least preserving the football and not giving up the fumble.
3rd down and 19 now. Deep drop to set up a screen with Travis Minor. He needs to reach the 41 for a first down. He's out to the 36, and they throw a flag. You wonder if that's for a face mask, the way Minor's head snapped back. Gerard Warren and Todd Johnson combined on the stop. And if that is a face mask against the Gators, it is another costly penalty.
Sean, we talked about yards after the catch. There are some very, very elusive guys in this ballgame.
5 yards, face mask, on the defense, foot down.
Florida State does a great job of getting their guys who can make people miss out in space. Here's the end of the play.
Just grabbed him by the
He
top.
grabbed him by the top of the helmet. The head did pull back, but the hand was not on the face mask.
So now it's 3rd down and 2. That's a bad call. Third down and 2 from the 39. They blitz McCaslin. The pass caught by Warwick for a first down. We're looking at 3rd down and 19 with help from a penalty. The Seminoles convert out to the 46 after a gain of 7. There's a flag down on the far side of the field.
Florida went with a zone blitz, and Warwick was the man lined up right over the blitzer, and that just tells him turn it out, get the quick throw, and try to get the first down.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Bobby Bowden and Steve Spurrier. We asked Coach Bowden about the relationship. He used the word strained. He said that's the way it was with Galen Hall and Charlie Pell. When you're the coach at Florida State, you really can't be too chummy with the coach at Florida. The intensity of this rivalry has become the most important in college football. Minor slides ahead to the 49, where Marquand Manuel and Keith Kelsey combine on the stop. Minor tends to have his best games in the big games, and that's been particularly true against Florida in the last 2 meetings. He's been over 100 yards rushing in the games against the Gators the last 2 years.
Well, that's a great thing you can say about a running back, too. If he plays his best in big ball games, that is a tremendous luxury to have as an offense.
Another offense, he'd get a lot more carries, but he says, I'll trade individual stats for wins. And they win by flinging it around all over the field predominantly. Winky trying to wing it, throws back across the middle, deflected and caught! Very close to a first down, Ron Dugans. That looked like a certain interception after the initial ricochet sent it up in the air, but it got deflected back to Dugans. It was Marquand Manuel who looked to have the shot at the interception, and that's shades of last year's meeting between these two.
Deja vu. They did a good job of fooling Chris Wenke, making him throw into coverage. You see, he had to move his feet.
Now Minor for a short gain on first down. He goes down to the 43-yard line. Last year, Marquand Manuel early in the second half had a ball go right through his hands when he was eyeing a touchdown. Instead, Peter Warwick caught the ball on the ricochet and went 32 yards for a score that really turned the momentum in favor of the Seminoles on their way to a victory. Every day after practice, Manuel comes out after they're done with practice to catch balls thrown by assistant coaches. Practice is not made perfect yet. Minor dropped by Keith Kelsey. Another short gain on the running play. This was the play a year ago. Marcus Outson was the quarterback. Winky was out with a neck injury that required surgery. You could see all the green grass ahead of Manuel, but instead Warwick caught it and went in for a 32-yard touchdown.
It's a game of inches, boy.
Jeff Cheney comes in at a running back position to Winky's right. 11th play of the drive, 3rd and 8. Deep drop by Winky. Warwick's open, but it's over his head. There is a flag down along the near sideline. They had Alexander and Dixon in double coverage on Warwick, the senior from Bradenton, who surprised many by coming back for his senior year. He wanted to win the national championship.
On the defense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
It's the same old story for the Gators. Costly mistakes all season long.
Well, they're just a little antsy right now, and I think they may be trying to get lined up too close to the line of scrimmage. I didn't see anybody jump off sides that time. There must have been someone lined up off sides, and now you turn a 3rd and 8 into a 3rd and 3. That's a tough break against the Florida defense.
They have Peter Warwick lined up now in the backfield. He was a high school quarterback. He takes the direct snap and runs for a first down. And then he got hammered in the midsection by Robert Cromartie. But Warwick bounced right back up with a first down at the 29-yard line, a gain of 8.
I mentioned Mark Richt does a great job of finding creative ways to get the football in the hands of his best player. Peter Warwick just lines up as a shotgun quarterback. It's run all the way. It's a lead sweep. He got a little impatient, didn't wait for Jason Whitaker to get out there in front of him, but he knew he only needed a few yards for the first down.
Wenke back in, under center. Jeff Chaney, the tailback now, and he carries down to the 21-yard line, where Marquand Manuel made the stop. Chaney, a junior from Lake Wales, Florida, has played both fullback and tailback this season. He started 4 games last year when Travis Minor was injured, so he has plenty of experience.
Ed Cunningham was talking about the noise here in the swamp, and we've been here, and it is a loud place. Great way to try to take that noise out. A drive like this by the Seminoles.
Dan Kendra on 2nd and short did not get the first down. He was knocked down at the 20. He was a quarterback his first 3 years at Florida State. One of the most highly recruited high school players in the nation, coming out of Bethlehem Catholic in Pennsylvania. He got bigger and bigger. He's now 255 pounds. He had a knee injury, made the transition to fullback this year. He's now the starter. Marcus Outson is in at quarterback. Wenke's out. Outson in for a keeper. And that might be because of the neck injury that Wenke suffered last year. The injury that kept him out of the Florida game and the national championship game. Chris suffered a very serious neck injury and had to have surgery. He has a titanium clamp, 4 screws that keep that clamp attached to the vertebra in his neck. The nurse who was in on the surgery came out of the operation, asked his mom, Betty, please don't ever let your son play football again, but he wants to play. And here he is on 1st and 10.
And he has been the glue that has kept this team together all season. Been a great leader.
15th play of the drive. He put on his back foot. Warwick in a one-on-one battle with Alexander. Alexander had better position, and Warwick did a good job to save an interception. And if Wenke has a bad habit, he occasionally throws off that back foot.
But you know what, Sean? This is not a problem. The advantages or the percentages of this being a good play are much better because of Peter Warwick, the guy on the receiving end. Sometimes when you have a great player, throw it up and let him try to make a play. Let him try to out-jump the defender. More times than not, that play's going to work in Florida State's favor.
Terrific, time-consuming drive for the Seminoles. Aided by Florida penalties, one of them on a key bad call. That pass is caught by Ron Duggins inside the 5 for a first down. He beat Robert Cromartie. 1st and goal. Seminoles at the 3, a pickup of 16.
Florida came with the blitz this time. Now the blitz is going to come here. That means single coverage out here. Chris Wenke read the blitz. He knew right where he wanted to go with the football. The shotgun allowed him to be away from the pressure and make the throw to Duggins. Good read and throw by Chris Wenke.
This drive began their own 20. Wenke's 5 out of 9 for 49 yards. Minor back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Eugene McCaslin had him around the legs. 64% touchdowns in the red zone this year for the Seminoles, slightly above the national average. They've scored at least 30 points in every game but one, the game against Clemson. John Hope, the defensive coordinator for Florida. They have 2 receivers to the right and only 1 defender for Florida out here.
Dan Kendra is in the shotgun right now. Wenke is out as a wide receiver right here.
And there was only 1 defensive back on the 2 players to the right, including Wenke. And Florida, because of that, got the timeout before the ball was snapped. Wenke was going to be left uncovered out to the right of Kendra.
This is Kendra. This is Wenke. We've seen 1 drive, and we've seen 3 different guys play quarterback for Florida State.
It's timeless, like her beauty. Ageless, like her smile. And like your love, everlasting. Is there any other way to show your love was meant to last a lifetime? Well, you could tell her. Then with the same 13 grand, she could have over $60,000 for her retirement. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Pentium 3 processor owners, we designed a website just for you. Intel's Web Outfitter service. Everything you need for a great internet experience. Rock with your favorite bands for live concert webcasts. Share family adventures. Explore the tallest mountains in the world. Live your life on the web to the fullest. Intel's Web Outfitter service. Get it now. Free at Intel.com.
Your car's been in an accident, and the repairs are taking too long. The problem's not your body shop, it's your insurance company. I can't fix cars, but I can cut the red tape, so my customers get their cars back faster. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Hallmark Hall of Fame presents Glenn Close, Christopher Walken, and Jack Palance.
This life, anything can happen in the blink of an eye.
In a television event, Hallmark Hall of Fame's Sarah, Plain and Tall, Winter's End, CBS Sunday.
No score, but Florida State on offense for the first time. About to snap it for the 18th play of this drive.
Here's Wenke. This is Warwick now. Fourth guy playing quarterback.
Warwick reverses his field. What a move! Touchdown!
Sean, how about Bobby Bowden? He says, Steve, if you want to play two quarterbacks, that's fine. I'll play four different guys at quarterback. I'm going to get the football in the hands of my best player, and I'm going to let him do his thing. I mean, this play is designed to go the left all the way. Stop, pivot, let's come back the other way, and he picks up a block by his quarterback, Chris Wenke, to get him in the end zone. Peter Warwick, the most dangerous football player in America when he has his hands on the ball.
And the extra point good by Sebastian Janikowski. What a drive by the Seminoles. 18 plays, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
If you're looking for horsepower, look at Chevy Silverado. Because Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. More powerful than Dodge. More powerful than Ford. 300 horsepower. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
As you might expect, Keller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Keller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up. Or, in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
The Matrix on video cassette and DVD. Free your mind. What you couldn't believe at the movies now comes home. It's the movie critics call a virtual masterpiece. Buy or rent it today.
I know the truth about tires. And I have proof. Pep Boys has tires from $4 for $99 to the Futura SE's motor trends that were impressive. The truth will set me free.
Pep Boys. Cars like us. People love us. CBS tonight. Chuck Norris infiltrates a prison fight club.
The guards are staging fights with the prisoners.
Could he defeat his toughest opponents yet?
What if you don't fight him?
You die. WWF's Randy Savage and Ultimate Fighter Frank Shamrock guest star in an all-new Walker. CBS tonight.
Budweiser and the Bud One Airship are proud to provide you with these live shots from 1,000 feet above Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the Florida Field, also known as the Swamp. And a moment ago, Keith Kelsey, starting weak side linebacker for the Gators, limped to the locker room with an apparent ankle injury. He's their third leading tackler. Well, Bobby Bowden pulled out all the stops on an opening drive. 4 different players took the snap from center. Warwick with his third rushing touchdown. of the season. Wenke 5 out of 7 on the drive. And you mentioned third downs as a key. They converted 3 third downs on the drive. They were helped by a bad call that kept the drive alive on the face mask penalty. John Capel, no chance to return that booming kickoff from Sebastian Janikowski.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Now, you ask, what makes Peter Warrick so dangerous? The best player in college football, possibly with his hands on the ball. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue shirts right around him. He makes them all miss. They all have a shot at him. There's only one Florida State blocker out there. Changes directions, come back the other way, scores a touchdown.
Doug Johnson will take at least the first snap of this possession for Florida. 7-0 Seminoles. Johnson throws. It is caught. Nice catch by Kirk Wells, the backup tight end. Brian Allen had the coverage, a 19-yard gain if it stands. There is a flag down in the secondary.
I'm going to guess it's defensive holding on this play.
Holding on the defense. Penalty is declined.
Well, the play stands. A terrific catch by Wells, the redshirt freshman, just his 5th reception of the year.
Here's Wells right here. He's going to run a little corner route, and he's held coming off the line by the linebacker right there, Brian Allen. Beautiful throw and a great catch by Wells. Under duress, Doug Johnson gets rid of the football on time.
We might be happy to let Jesse Palmer take the next snap. Here is Palmer on 1st and 10 from the 39. They take the reverse. Ernest Graham kept it and made his way out near the 43. Bradley Jennings drove him back. Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS rolls out some hot divisional action. In one matchup, Drew Bledsoe leads the Patriots against Jimmy Johnson's Miami Dolphins, or it's an AFC West shootout when Mike Holmgren drives the Seahawks against the Chiefs. Check local listings for these and other regional games, beginning with Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry on the NFL Today at noon Eastern Time. 2nd and 6. Doug Johnson at quarterback. Bo Carroll now the tailback. Johnson throws to Carroll. He fumbled. And it looked like Carroll got it back. Brian Allen put the hit on Carroll and knocked the ball out. But Bo Carroll recovered his own fumble.
Well, we've seen Bo Carroll's quickness when he gets out into the secondary running the football. We see a little quickness here making the recovery. Nice throw again. And watch as the ball pops out quickly. Bo Carroll back on top of it. An alert play by Bo Carroll.
Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator at Florida State. It's defense best in the nation last year. Not as high up in the rankings this season. They've been plagued by the big play. As he likes to say, the other team's offense is on scholarship too. Palmer under pressure, got away, and has a first down. Across midfield to the 49. Corey Simon made the tackle.
Well, this is a great job by Jesse Palmer, Sean, because there's immediate pressure in the worst place for a quarterback, right up the gut, forces Jesse Palmer up into the pocket, gets right behind Cheston Blackshear, and gets the first down. An alert play, an athletic play by Jesse Palmer to get the first down.
And he's admiring it on the replay screen. Carroll and Graham in the backfield together now. Both are nearly tailbacks. Doug Johnson, a deep drop, and he throws. And it is intercepted by Bradley Jennings. And the ball goes over the Gators. Thought that one official you saw was waving incomplete pass, but he was not. It's an interception for Jennings, his first of the year.
Well, Doug Johnson felt pressure here, and he was going to try to get the football to Bo Carroll, but watch as Carroll goes out to set up for the screen. He gets all tangled up in there, and Jennings just kind of throws him out of the way and makes the interception. Doug Johnson's trying to unload it to his back, doesn't see where he's throwing it, throws it right to Bradley Jennings.
And the biggest problem that Steve Spurrier seems to have as Florida State now takes the national lead in interception with Doug Johnson is decision-making. When you ask Steve about his area of dissatisfaction with Johnson, more often than not he talks about decision-making. With Brian Allen to put the heat on, they didn't get that play off, and it will be blown dead. This play will not count. It's so hard to hear the whistle with this noise. Delay of game penalty. Would you agree that Steve Spurrier...
Red ball, delay of the game on the offense, 5 yards, first down.
Was the most relaxed that we've seen him all year.
Absolutely.
Yesterday when we visited with him.
Very comfortable, very forthright in his comments to us. But, I mean, this has been so frustrating for him all season. Those kind of mistakes, those kind of errors from his prized possession, the quarterback position. Doug Johnson, if he's setting up a screen, if it's not there clear, you got to just throw that one right in the ground. Throw it at the feet of your receiver and come up and play the next down.
7-0 Florida State. Late in the first quarter. They scored on their opening drive. Wenke throws a strike, and it is caught by Marvin Minnis. He beat Benny Alexander to the 26-yard line of Florida. And Wenke is sharp early. That's a gain of 27.
Boy, the beautiful thing that Minnis did here, Sean, is watch as this ball is thrown. Alexander actually reads it and is going to make a break to the ball, but Minnis slows down and keeps his body between the defender and the football and is able to make the great catch.
Terrific catch by the man they call Snoop after the Peanuts character Snoopy. They chant Snoop after he makes catches at Bill Campbell Stadium, and we heard the Snoop chant again. Warwick's going to throw from the backfield, and it is up for grabs and incomplete. Well defended. He was looking for Patrick Hughes, a backup tight end, and Robert Cromartie, the primary defender. Hobson was the quarterback.
And he was also out in the pattern as well. He flipped it to Warwick, and he ran down the sideline. It was a double read for Peter Warwick. He was trying to get it down the field to Hughes. Underthrown, and a nice play by Cromartie.
Now, this rivalry might really catch on if the coaches would play a more entertaining brand of football.
Yeah, they're really conservative, aren't they?
2nd and 10. From the 27. Short pass to Minnis. He got stopped at the 22. Darrell Dixon and Mike Nattiel made the stop. Nattiel's in for the injured Keith Kelsey, and let's get a report on Keith from Michelle.
Well, Sean, he just came back out of the locker room. He has sprained his left ankle. Florida team Dr. Pete Indelicato told me he was taken in there to apply some numbing ointment and retape it. They're going to see if he can run on it. Back to you.
On 3rd down, the pass caught by Ward. It looked like with the forward progress he had the first down near the 15, but they're going to spot the ball back around the 16 to make it much closer. Warwick took a pretty sturdy hit from Benny Alexander.
Sean, they caught Florida. They went on a quick count, and look, Florida's not in position to get out and cover this play. They're late running their people out over the receivers, and that enabled Wenke to get the football to Warwick from very close to the first down. But Florida has had some problems trying to get the right personnel in, getting them lined up, and getting ready to play.
And you wonder if this defense might be a little bit frazzled and winded already. It's only the first quarter, but they were just on the field for 18 plays. And the ball got turned over quickly after the interception.
And this is very similar right now to when we were here for the Alabama game. That's what Alabama did to this defense. They spread them out. They changed things up. They had long, time-consuming drives and scored a lot of points and made a lot of yards.
John Hogue was very hard on himself after that game. He said, I called a lousy game on defense, and the players didn't play very well either. They've gone back to much more of an attacking style since they played soft coverage against the Crimson Tide most of that game.
He really wanted to try to confuse Chris Wenke, and so far, Wenke is reading everything pretty doggone well.
Wenke throws, caught by Warwick, and the ankle tackle by Marquand Manuel saved the touchdown. Right now, the talented Florida wideouts are winning the battle with the Florida secondary. John Hogue said the key really is if you cut it off at point A. If you get to the quarterback, you don't have to worry about the ball getting to point B, in this case, Warwick. They haven't had much pressure on any of the quarterbacks. Dan Kendra on 2nd and short. Tackled by Gerard Warren and Andre Davis. And this will be close and perhaps require a measurement.
Can't say enough about Chris Wenke early in this ball game. Now we got Dan Kendra under center again. Wenke out as a wide receiver. Here's a quarterback sneak right here.
And on 3rd and inches, Kendra, 255 pounds, was stopped by the 300-pounder Gerard Warren. He didn't get much, but he didn't need much. Kendra's from a football family. His father, Dan Sr., played for Bobby Bowden at West Virginia back in the mid-70s. Really a fascinating career for young Dan at Florida State. He was the most highly recruited quarterback of the country after his senior year in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. USA Today's Offensive Player of the Year nationally. He didn't get the first down there, but had some problems, a variety of problems that prevented him from ever really becoming the starting quarterback. And then after a knee injury and the fact that he had bulked up to 255, he became the fullback, and he's taken to it very well.
And what a team got. I mean, what a great move by him for the benefit of the team to switch positions. Here's Outzen in. Here's another quarterback sneak by Marcus Outzen. Watch him try to move to the right a little bit.
4th and inches. Outzen keeps, and he definitely went forward. He should have the first down. They don't want Winky to take a hit on that neck if they can help it. Outzen became the quarterback last year after Winky went down. He ended the season with the neck injury. And Outzen led them to victories in his first 2 starts, but he took some heat for his performance in the Fiesta Bowl loss in the national championship game against Tennessee. Game in which he was 9 for 22.
Here's a good opportunity. One receiver, throw it up in the corner and let Pete try to make a play.
The toss to Miner, who ran into his own man in the backfield, and Alex Brown made the tackle for a loss back near the 8-yard line on what will likely be the final play of a very entertaining first quarter, one dominated by Bobby Bowden's offense. At the end of the first quarter, the score, Florida State 7 and Florida nothing. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Doctor, $6,000 for a simple hernia operation. Why don't you throw in a hip replacement, you know, 2 for 1? What about this, Doc? The hernia, the hemorrhoids, and the hair weave. Work with me here, Doc. Work with me. The hernia, the spleen, the gallstones, and a nose job. For the little woman. Okay, I got it.
Like to haggle? Go to hagglezone.com, where you can buy lots of brand new stuff, and everything's negotiable.
The cataracts, and a golf shirt. You guys play a lot of golf, right?
Hagglezone. How good are you?
Yeah, let me get this straight. Yes. Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead. Right. Is anyone getting this?
If we don't pay you a commission every time we trade, what's your motivation?
It's just like always, Ann, your best interest. Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolio. So when we succeed, they succeed.
Well, you'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
Catch Ricky Martin at his first ever network special, CBS Friday.
Country, look at that truck.
It's Ford truck season with great deals on every Ford truck at your local Ford dealer. For the first time ever, get both. Up to $1,000 cash back and low 3-9 financing on the best-selling truck on the planet, F-150. One tough truck, one tough-to-beat deal. Up to $1,000 cash back and 3-9 financing on Ford F-150. But hurry, truck season ends soon at your local Ford dealer.
The whole world's Ford country.
They're the best-selling minivans in the world. The most innovative ever. The most imitated. The most trusted. The most versatile. Dodge Caravan. It's not only the yardstick. It's the ruler. Starting at $18,025.
So many ways for the holiday while you're at the marketplace.
This Thanksgiving, serve the very best. Winn-Dixie's WD Broad-Breasted All-Natural Turkey, just 58 cents a pound. WD Super Trim Whole Smoked Ham is 98 cents a pound. Get White Lily Flour for only 99 cents. And Duncan Hines Cake Mixes for just 59 cents.
So many ways for the holidays while you're at the marketplace. Winn-Dixie Market.
Happy holidays from Winn-Dixie.
City of Chattanooga, Gone to the Dogs, Monday night at 6 on News 12.
Michelle Tafoya, Ed Cunningham at the Swamp. 10th play of this drive for Florida State with Warren lined up in the shotgun. 2nd and goal from the 8. Warren turns the corner again. Can't reach the end zone. Marquand Manuel chased him out. And Todd, all week, we talked about at the top of the telecast, the focus was on what is Steve Spurrier going to do with the quarterbacks. I guess we should have been asking, what is Bobby Bowden going to do at quarterback?
Well, you know, I was at their practice on Thursday. I saw him working on all these things, but I thought it was going to be more of a change-up. I certainly didn't expect to see it this much in the early part of the ball game, but it has really been effective as a change-up for Florida State.
Wanky bag at quarterback. He locks it up in the end zone. It's batted down on a nice defensive play by Robert Cromartie. Ron Dugans, the intended receiver in the field goal unit, comes on for FSU.
And a much, much needed stop for the Florida defense. Cromartie looking in at the quarterback. He reads fade right away. He gets in position and goes up and gets a hand on the football. Extremely well played by Robert Cromartie. And the Gators really needed to stop the Seminoles from getting in the end zone there.
Sebastian Janikowski has not missed from inside 40 yards this year. The opinion of many, the best place kicker in the nation. Native of Poland who came to this country at age 15. Drills at home from 22 yards out. And Florida State's lead is now 10-0 in the first seconds of the second quarter.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
Shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online. Office Depot, taking care of business.
Okay, everybody, let's square dance. Oh, bow to the partner corner, I say. Circle to the left with a merit trade. Break right out and you go online. Load the boat, you're doing fine. Research is free, make that trade. Swing that girl, promenade. Circle up bait with a hoop and a holler. Each trade costs you just $8. Hey, bow to the partner corner, I say. You trade it online with a merit trade. Yoo-hoo! Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
You never know what surprises the holidays will bring. That's why Farmers Insurance is all about getting things back to normal. Isn't that what insurance is supposed to do? Farmers, get you back where you belong.
Who will be named the Sportsman of the Century? Sports Illustrated's 20th Century Sports Award, coming to CBS.
Just 13 seconds into the second quarter, Florida State has already run 30 plays on offense. And the Seminoles have a 10-0 lead. More Home Depot college football action next weekend on Friday. Some of you will see Arkansas at LSU, others Boston College at Virginia Tech. The Hokies victorious again today against Temple. Then on Saturday, our coverage begins with Vanderbilt at number 7, Tennessee, followed by Syracuse and Miami, noon Eastern time next Saturday here on CBS Sports. Janikowski booms one to the back of the end zone. Here's Ed Cunningham.
Coach, everyone was talking about Steve Spurrier and what he was going to do with his quarterbacks. You've come out with 4. What's the thinking?
Well, we've got a lot of quarterbacks on our team, and we're just trying to utilize them.
Any changes that you have to see in the second quarter? Things going as planned so far?
No, the big thing I told our kids, disregard the first half. It don't mean nothing. Whether we're 10 ahead or 10 behind, first half don't mean nothing. We got a long way to go.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate Coach Bowden's cooperation, willing to be interviewed during the game. First and 10. Doug Johnson, the quarterback. And he throws, caught by Travis Taylor. A little bit short of the first down, just shy of the 30-yard line. Time now for our Sun America virtual playbook.
Well, the Florida State defense has been one of the best in the country for the last several years, and the glamour positions are the outside defensive end rushers. But if you want to block this team, you better block the 2 inside guys, the tackles Jerry Johnson and the All-American Corey Simon. We've seen a lot of that twist stunt inside already in the ball game. Those 2 guys play for Mickey Andrews' defense. They've had great seasons. 2 captains, 2 seniors.
Second and 1. On snap, but Jesse Palmer handled it. Good protection. Pass caught by Darrell Jackson. And the junior from Tampa was knocked down by Reggie Durden and Bobby Rhodes. First down, Gators, out of the 39-yard line.
Sean, you mentioned earlier about the offensive line of Florida and the thinking maybe this has been the best they've had in a long time. They are very, very good. They're young on the outside. They have a redshirt freshman at left tackle, a redshirt sophomore at right tackle, but the three interior guys are all fifth-year senior guys. A lot of experience on the inside of this offensive line.
Johnson, the quarterback, Graham, the tailback, Rob Robertson at fullback. Roberts has been bothered by a right ankle injury. He's leading the way for Graham. And nothing doing. Neither team has run the ball effectively to this point. Tay Cody stopped that rushing play by Ernest Graham, the redshirt freshman from Cape Coral, Florida. Here comes Palmer back in, and you mentioned it, Steve talks about all the time, they're really the same. They have the same skills, they're the same size, and when you compare their statistics over the years, they come out just about the same, and 4 out of 6 and 2 out of 3, very similar.
And I think the reason he likes this system is it allows him to talk to the guys before they go out to the field. Make sure you see this. Here's your read. If this is what you see, you got to check to this.
Palmer out of the gun on 2nd and 10, looking for Taylor. A lot of contact there, but no flag thrown. Reggie Durden had an arm out on Travis Taylor, but no flag thrown. And the Florida sideline in an uproar.
Well, the ball was a little bit underthrown and inside, and you see as Taylor was trying to work back to the football, Durden just had his hand on Travis Taylor. Palmer threw it off his back foot a little bit and it was underthrown, and Taylor couldn't fight through that to get to the football.
10 minutes plus of possession time. They've run 30 plays, Florida State. They've gotten them off very quickly. 3rd down and 10. Jackson the catch, lunging toward the marker. It'll be very close. Mario Edwards made the stop. Ball spotted just shy of the 49-yard line. And from this angle, Todd, I think he's going to be inches short, and the officials won't even measure. They're holding up the fist for 4th down.
Really a good effort by Daryl Jackson, though, after the short catch to try to fight forward for the 1st down. A good job of pass protecting by Florida. The Seminoles came with a blitz that time, and it was well protected for Doug Johnson.
And they are going to measure now. Both quarterbacks over with Spurrier.
You know, I was talking about the 2 quarterbacks. I mean, in the NFL, the coach or the play caller can talk to his quarterback on the headset, give him the play, make sure they're on the same page. It's basically the same thing that Steve is doing with this system. And then as the game wears on, he'll probably figure out who he thinks has the hottest hand and gives him the best chance to win the game.
It appears they're going for it. There's also the possibility of just a long snap count trying to draw the Noles offside. 5 for 9 this year on 4th down. Empty backfield. They do go for it. Palmer lunges forward. Now, where will they mark the ball? It's where the ball was when his knee went down. The official on the near sideline did not give him that lunge across the 50. Put the ball back near the 49. David Warren made the tackle. And this is going to be very close.
David Warren made a great play. Here he is right here. Watch him just explode inside and take some steam out of Palmer and actually knock him to the ground as Palmer was trying to lunge forward. A great play by David Warren from his defensive end position.
And they just do get the 1st down.
Showing a little strength there getting forward because David Warren took a lot of steam out of him coming from his defensive end position.
Doug Johnson under center with Graham and Roberts in the backfield. 1st and 10 Gators moving along the line. Here come the flags. 12-13 left in the 1st half. 10-0 Florida State.
False start on the offense. 5 yards. 1st down.
5th penalty against the University of Florida already. They had 2 on defense on the Florida State touchdown drive. The polls are open. We invite you to vote for the Defensive Player of the Century in the CBS Sportsline College Football Millennium Poll. Just click on NCAA football at cbs.sportsline.com or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Palmer at quarterback. Out of the gun. Here comes the blitz. The quick pass dropped by Graham. He tried to pick it back up and run with it, but the officials were not fooled. It'll be second down and 15.
And that play had a chance, Sean, because Florida State was coming with a blitz. Jesse Palmer got rid of the ball quickly, and had Graham been able to hold on to it, he might have been able to run for a long way on this play.
Well, we've really seen all of the problems that have plagued the Florida offense this season. Penalties, turnovers, drop balls.
Yep. And what Doug Johnson has to be thinking right here on second and long is you don't have to get it all back on this play. Get yourself in a good third down situation.
Second and 15. Johnson throws short. Rashay Caldwell knocked down shy of midfield. Just a 3 or 4 yard gain where Chris Pope made the stop on the redshirt freshman Caldwell. The first 5 games, they threw the ball for 17 touchdown passes. The last 5 games, just 4 TD passes. The passing yardage way down as well. The points have come way down. Some think Steve Spurrier was sandbagging, not showing his hand.
He was a little more
upcoming.
He was a little more conservative, Sean, but the execution was still poor in the last 2 games.
Palmer throws, flag down to the secondary. The ball was incomplete, intended for Darrell Jackson. Reggie Durden had coverage, and perhaps he was a bit too frisky in coverage. Durden comes in nickel and dime situations, a senior from Houston, Texas. Spent a couple of years in junior college.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul. First down.
Here's where the ball is thrown. There's no contact right there.
Wow.
Must have occurred somewhere else or earlier in the play. I think Brian Allen was actually the guilty party, one of the linebackers. Right here, Brian Allen, I think, is where the flag came in on the linebacker.
Palmer out, Johnson in, looking for Taylor. Incomplete. Taylor wasn't looking for the ball. Tay Cody had the coverage. Junior from Blakely, Georgia, one of several Seminoles involved in distressing off-the-field incidents that really has taken away a lot of the luster from this #1 ranking all season long for Florida State. They were preseason #1. They've maintained that ranking with the undefeated record. But Cody's arrest for marijuana possession, Ward's problems with the petty theft at the department store, and other episodes have really cast a shadow over this season.
Made it very tough for Bobby Bowden. You know, he wins his 300th game, but he's had to battle a lot of off-field stuff.
Palmer's pass looked like it hit the ground. No indication yet, and now the incomplete signal given. Levan Thomas went for the sliding interception. Coverage of Alex Willis. Looked like Palmer actually had a receiver open underneath, but went a little bit deeper looking for Willis.
Now, one of the problems possibly when you're rotating quarterbacks is when you're in there and you know you're in there for one play and then you're coming out, you maybe have that feel in the back of your mind that you've got to make the play. You've got to throw it downfield. You don't settle for that underneath. You got to take what the defense gives you no matter what down you're in there playing.
Well, as we saw on both replays, Ernest Graham was wide open in the middle of the field. Third down and 10. Johnson, just a 3-man rush. He throws short to the tight end, Kirk Wells. He got popped out of bounds by Mario Edwards. Well short of the first down. The ball spotted just inside the 34. They need to get to the 30, just inside the 30 for a first down.
Sean, I think for Florida to have a chance in this ball game, Travis Taylor has got to step up for the Gators. I mean, he has had the ankle injury in the Tennessee game. He missed some games, and he has not looked like himself. But he has got to step up and make some plays for Florida if they're going to have a chance to win today. He is a big-time player when he's ready to play.
Jeff Chandler's on. This would be a 50-yard field goal. It'll be the longest of his career. It's long enough, and it is good. Jeff Chandler, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, gets the Gators on the board. And boy, is Steve Spurrier's kicking game much improved this year with Chandler over previous years when they've had some kicking disasters. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot College football will continue after this word from your local station.
For king-size comedy, the address is CBS.
Ford Explorer, the best-selling SUV for 8 years. Roomiest interior in its class. Incredible performance, sleek style. Need another reason? How about 1,000 cash back plus low 3.9 financing on Ford Explorer? That's right, you get both. 1,000 cash back plus 3.9 financing. These are the reasons you see more Explorers on the road than any other SUV. See your local Ford dealer today.
Hey. This is for those ready to hit the road.
Hit the road. This is for a tough world.
This is for those looking for a solid experience.
This is excitement. Well built.
This is for right now. Right now.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement and lease a Grand MSE for as low as $219 a month for 36 months. Call for important details.
This is for me.
For me. For me.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
This is for me.
Product warranties can be tricky, but no tricks at Amana. Warranties for the heat exchangers in these say lifetime. Lifetime means as long as you live there. You see, heat exchangers are the heart of your furnace, and Amana uses all stainless steel for the ones in these, and they'll last way longer than the ones made of aluminized steel. That's why the warranty says lifetime. Amana's built better than it has to be. So's the warranty. Make a call. One hot deal. No down payment, no payments, no interest until May.
Feel the warmth of natural gas heat and save on your utility bills. Call Jim Walters Air Systems today.
City of Chattanooga, Gone to the Dogs, Monday night at 6 on News 12.
Florida's on the board. It's 10-3 Florida State. Still early in the second quarter. Chandler, after the longest field goal of his career, a 50-yarder, booms under the end zone where it is down by Reggie Durden. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, you guys, this uniform combination you're seeing on the Gators, the blue jerseys and the orange pants, has never been worn under Steve Spurrier. In fact, the last time they wore these, 1989 versus Florida State. But the seniors voted on this combination. One high-ranking official close to the team admitted it's a fashion risk, but maybe one worth taking if it helps the Gators' mindset. Back to you.
All right, Michelle.
Where I played, we never had to worry about which uniform we were going to wear. We had one pair of pants, white, no stripe, wore them in practice and in the game. Down south, man, everybody's got about 3 different combinations. Need Joseph Abboud to sort out the uniforms.
Crowd trying to help the Gator defense. They could use the help. Looked like they jumped offside there. Didn't detect any movement along the Florida State offensive front. Friday on CBS, the government has placed the mind of an average guy in the perfect super body and created the ultimate secret weapon. Don't miss the drama the critics call mesmerizing and unlike anything else in prime time, and all new now and again Friday on CBS. Was an offside penalty against the Florida defense, 1st and 5.
Another thing that Chris Weinke has done a good job of all season, using that hard count. Even in a place as loud as this, he was able to draw the offside penalty by the Gators.
Inside handoff, good cut by Minor. Travis Minor, the junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tackled in the secondary by Marquand Manuel and Daryl Dixon. A 13-yard run for Minor, who's rushed for more than 2,200 yards in his career.
Minor is a great cutback runner. Watch right here as he sees nothing this way. Change the direction and back to the backside. Good job of blocking on the backside by Florida State. Minnis, the receiver down there getting the block. Carlos Thomas, the right tackle. You've got a runner like Travis Minor. He's an outstanding cutback runner. You got to stay on your block, front side and backside.
1st and 10, Seminole at the 38-yard line. Weinke caught. 1st down and much more. Robert Morgan all the way down to the 34-yard line of Florida.
Florida State is deep and talented. talented at the wide receiver position. I've never seen a depth chart that lists 4 receivers at both positions, but Florida State has them. This time, Morgan on the quick slant. Too much cushion there by Cromartie, giving off a lot of room to the inside. An easy throw for Chris Wanke to Morgan.
Gain of 28 on the completion to Morgan, the sophomore from East Point, Georgia. They spread it around, 20 different receivers. They caught a pass this year. There's another completion and another first down to Warren. Knocked out of bounds by Benny Alexander at the 23-yard line. They'd be even deeper at wide receiver.
Yeah.
If they still have Lavernius Coles, who many think will be a first-round draft pick in the NFL, he was thrown off the team after his involvement in the Dillard's episode with Warwick and several other episodes.
Had great speed. He was also a devastating blocker, a guy that was really had an infectious impact.
Confusion on the Florida defense as the ball was snapped, but they got away with it. As Wanke's pass to the end zone incomplete. Looking for Atrus Bell, a sophomore, showing even more depth.
Unbelievable. And they all make plays. You know, they've earned playing time, and when they get in the game, they make plays. Bobby Bowden said he thought last week against Maryland was the best job of pass protecting his offensive line had done all year. They're doing an even better job today against a better defense. Chris Wanke not feeling any pressure at all.
They put 49 on the Maryland Terrapin, in large part because of the pass protection last week. Second and 10. Here comes the blitz. It's well picked up, and Warwick's wide open. And he's very close to another first down at the 13-yard line. Alex Brown ran downfield from the defensive line to make the tackle with help from Robert Cromartie. If you're going to blitz, you better get there against this bunch.
Well, it's only a 2-man pass pattern. You got maximum protection in there. And again, you've got to respect the speed and the ability of Warwick, but too much cushion by Benny Alexander. Alex Brown trying to find his way to the quarterback. Nowhere to go. Ends up getting in on the tackle. But they have really nullified him so far in the first half.
First and 10. 5 catches for 42 yards for Warwick. He's caught a pass in 40 straight games. That's the school record. Minor. Good patience on that run to pick up a yard. Andre Davis and Eugene McCaslin made the tackle on Minor. 6 games in his career against teams ranked in the top 10. He's averaged more than 100 yards per game. We talked about it earlier. Both games against Florida in his career prior to this one, he's rushed for more than 100. Last year, 127. 2 years ago here, 142 in their heartbreaking late loss, 32-29.
And Mark Richt is doing a nice job running the ball enough to keep the Florida defense honest. They're not having any huge plays running it, but they're certainly keeping that defense honest.
Second and 9, 5-man rush. They put a hit on Wanke, and the ball is deflected by Keith Kelsey. Eugene McCaslin came on the linebacker blitz and put the pop on Wanke.
First time they got pressure, Kelsey is going to be in position to make an interception here. The pressure is going to force Wanke to throw one up for grabs, and Kelsey can't come down with it. When you finally get an opportunity to make a play, you've got to come up with that play. McCaslin made the pressure. Kelsey couldn't make the interception.
Wanke's going to use a timeout. The third down and 9 upcoming. Nearly midway through the second quarter. Florida State leads 10-3.
They're the largest creatures on Earth. They've adapted and evolved with strength and determination. The kind of strength that helps the Pacific Life family of companies manage more than $300 billion for its clients. And determination that has guided Pacific Life for 130 years. Size, strength, longevity, offering annuities, insurance and investments. Use the power of Pacific Life.
You know how you're supposed to eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza?
Bill doesn't get it. Backwards, Bill. The other way. Backwards, Bill. Backwards. That boy. Now bite it. Billy. Bite it, Billy.
Jill's not afraid to eat her stuffed crust backwards. Everybody knows how to eat stuffed crust pizza backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with a pizza. A large one topping is $9.99.
Jill's made of tougher stuff than Bill.
Take a bite, Billy. Backwards, Bill. Keep your chin up, Bill.
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Whoops. Not again. Whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy. Oh, no. Whoops.
Sometimes the greatest challenge for an SUV isn't going off-road, but staying on. The M-Class, the only SUV that drives like a Mercedes.
Tim Brando in New York. Coming up on the AXA Halftime Report, Spencer Tillman and I will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights of rivalry weekend, including Yale winning a share of the Ivy League title. Eric Johnson had 21 catches. This one the game winner. Now back to the game.
You used to do those Ivy League games, didn't you?
That is a great rivalry. That is truly one of those ones. Throw out the records when Harvard and Yale get together. A lot of years they'd like to throw out the records. Winky looks like he was going to go out of the shotgun, and he will. On 3rd down and 9 from the Florida 12. There's an easy field goal range for Janikowski, but they'd like the touchdown. The officials are blowing the play dead. And it looks like Florida called a timeout before the snap. Steve Spurrier, a bit more involved this year in the defensive coaching after the loss to Alabama. He made a few suggestions, but he's pretty much let John Hoke in his first year at Florida run the defense. Hoke, 42 years old, from Kettering, Ohio, in the Dayton area. Terrific player at Ball State, played 2 years in the NFL. Of the last several seasons as the secondary coach at the University of Missouri, working for Larry Smith. And when Bob Stoops, the former defensive coordinator here at Florida, left to go to Oklahoma, he recommended John Hoke to Steve Spurrier. Spurrier made the call and made the hire.
And the systems are very similar. There's not a lot of change. Florida State said, hey, we can use all their cut-ups from how we played against them last year because the system is pretty much the same. They do a few different things, maybe a few more zone blitzes than Stoops used last year, but for the most part, it's the same kind of defense.
Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Hoping a big game like this, it's a tough one. Only 2 teams have gone wire to wire in the AP poll since 1950. There's Florida State trying to do that this year. Third down and 9. Gun. Throws. Caught by Dugan. Short of a first down. About 2 yards short after a good combined tackle by Robert Cromartie and Todd Johnson. Dugan's is powerful, but they stood him up right along the 5, maybe just inside the 5.
There's Dugan's. Warwick is the decoy here. He draws the attention inside, and that leaves Dugan's out there all alone against Cromartie. We talked about yards after contact. The defenders had to tackle well. That time, Cromartie did his job, stopped him short of the first down.
Here's Janikowski again, another short field goal try. He made one from 22, and this is going to be 22 again. He was the Lou Groza Award winner as the best kicker in the nation last year. And is likely to win it again. The play clock has run out. And actually, from this angle, Todd, probably won't hurt him to back up.
He's a real character, too, Sean. I mean, I met him on Thursday, and he is a lively character now. He's unlike most kickers I've ever seen.
Well, he's 261 pounds, which immediately makes him stand out.
And he's athletic. I mean, he can run. He runs about a 4.7 40. He was a great soccer player when he came over from Poland, and soccer player in high school.
He turned down professional soccer contracts in South America to come to Florida State. Trouble with the hold, but the ball driven up and through. Marcus Hudson did a good job, it seemed, getting that down for Janikowski. And the lead is back to 10, 13-3, Seminoles.
The all-in-one, internet-ready Gateway Astro PC is so simple to set up, you'll have it up and running in less than one donut. Just $799 with an Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Is Cancun more of a haven for cocaine coming into the United States than it is for tourists coming from the United States? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
13-3 Seminoles. I mentioned that Janikowski's quite a character. Watch after this field goal. He goes and gives his snapper an earful, Clay Ingram. Didn't like the snap. Still made the field goal, but he is an interesting guy now, Sean. Singing and dancing and jumping around, and kickers are all a little bit different, but he fits that mold for sure.
Well, this is in Daytona Beach now. He booms that one to the end zone, and they're going to try to run this one out. John Capel, one of the fastest men in the country as a track athlete. A good decision. Brought it out to the 26-yard line. Michael Hamilton made the stop. Here's Ed Cunningham.
You guys are talking about Sebastian Janikowski coming from Poland. He's already said he's about 90% sure he'll go to the NFL after this year. The biggest reason, his mother, Helena, is still in Poland. He wants to have the opportunity to bring her over here. And, Todd, you talked about him getting in the snapper's face. At 260 pounds, he's big enough to do that.
He is a funny guy. First college football game he ever saw was when he took his recruiting visit to Florida State. Bobby Bowden normally doesn't like to give scholarships to kickers, but he watched one film on the guy and said, go sign this kid.
There's talk he could be a first-round draft choice when he comes out. A rarity among kickers. Bo Carroll out to the 32-yard line. Doug Johnson took the first snap of this Florida possession. And the junior from Norristown, Pennsylvania, Carroll, with a good gain on the play. Here comes Palmer back in.
Chris Wanke certainly having the better of it today. He really looks poised and comfortable running the Seminole offense. And Steve Spurrier still trying to find out which one of his quarterbacks is going to give him the best chance to win.
Palmer handoff to Carroll again. He's short of the first down at the 34. They'll need about 1.5 yards on third down. Bradley Jennings made the tackle.
Mentioned that Florida State had to run enough to keep the defense honest. Florida has to do the same thing. Last year in this ball game, 20 carries, only 17 yards rushing. It's tough to beat anybody when you become one-dimensional. And Florida this year has done a much better job running the football. They made that a priority to try to fix this year, and they've done it all season.
Moves up 62 spots in the rankings, moving, and there is a flag down. Ernest Graham appeared to pick up the first down. But they'll take the penalty if it is offside against Florida State, because the 5 yards would be better than what they got on that run. Corey Simon might have been offside.
Offside on the defense. 5 yards. First down.
Whenever a guy this close to the football jumps off sides, it's because he's not watching the ball. He's listening to the quarterback's voice. Good job by Doug Johnson drawing Simon off sides with the hard snap count.
Well, in the 90s, the team that has rushed for the most yardage in this rivalry has won all but one game. Florida won in 95, despite being outrushed by Florida State. Jesse Palmer, the quarterback. He handed off to Ernest Graham, and he powered ahead for a couple. Out to the 41, it'll be 2nd and 8. Derek Gibson up from the rover position to make the hit. Derek's a junior from Miami. Second-year starter at Rover, and according to Mickey Andrews, he's played as well, if not better than anybody in their secondary this year.
And their secondary, I don't know if it is as good of a secondary as what they've had in the last couple years, but that guy, Gibson, has played extremely well from his strong safety position.
Doug Johnson, the rush well picked up, but the pass almost intercepted by Brian Allen. Well, earlier, Johnson threw an interception, now a skirmish. And he's very lucky that that one wasn't an INT. Roland Seymour and Kenyatta Walker whooping. We are happy to tell you that for the first time in A few years, these two teams did not have an ugly pregame episode on the field. There were extra security, coaches and officials during the warm-ups to make sure that they didn't have a fight. Takamoto, assistant coach, on the field of Corral and Seymour. Both coaching staffs spent a lot of time in the days leading up to this game talking about knocking that kind of stuff off.
Coaches making public service announcements and doing different things in practice. The end of Thursday's practice was about 15 minutes of the whole pregame routine where they were going to go on the field to try to avoid any incident.
As you might expect, Teller and I don't see eye to eye on investing. I like to avoid risk. Teller's a little more daring. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, the first site with trading tools customized by Lycos to fit your unique way of doing things.
Look, the market's up. Or, in your case, down.
Power Street Online Trading. To find out how you could win free trades for life, visit Fidelity.com.
And now, the Fidelity Mentors of the Game.
My mentor has been my brother Derek, who's a year older. He's kind of been the trailblazer for me, has kept me on the right path. Has been a guy that has pulled me away from bad things and led me in the right direction to do good things. And I think that as good an athlete as he is, he hasn't been able to have the experiences that I've had. I feel very fortunate and really give him probably more credit than he deserves in terms of leading me in the right direction.
Back at the Swamp, the charge timeout to Florida State here. Each team has one timeout left in the half. Let's untangle. Why, oh, some kicking there by Seymour.
He's kicking Corey Simon.
Yeah.
He's trying to kick Kenyatta Walker, and he ended up hitting his own guy.
Now 3rd down and 8. Florida 1 out of 4 on 3rd down. That pass thrown by Jesse Palmer, incomplete. Mario Edwards nearest to it. Now a flag thrown. You wonder if that's for that little demonstration by Edwards after the play was over.
Late flag, but still, Travis Taylor, I mean, he just doesn't seem like he has his head in the game completely, Sean. He has got to play well for this offense.
Pass interference on the defense.
Wow.
Stop foul. First down.
Well, Edwards apparently flagged for pass interference. And that keeps the drive alive for Florida. The ball out to the 49-yard line and a first down for the Gators.
I think Steve has to find a way to get number 19 the football. Just get him the ball quick and let him get involved in the game. You see Travis Taylor trying to get back inside, and there's a lot of contact, but you don't see Taylor fighting through to get to the football either.
The official was very late throwing that flag. But there was some contact. Johnson running out of time. Throws it away. Near Alex Willis. Jamal Reynolds has been putting heat on both quarterbacks, and he was in pursuit of Johnson again.
You know, a couple plays ago, we talked about decision-making from the quarterback. This play, this is a two-man route, and the read goes 1, 2. Doug Johnson has to look downfield, and if he can't throw the hook, he's got to dump it to his back. There's double coverage on the hook. There's nobody on the running back. It's just a case of not making the right decision by Doug Johnson, feeling like he has to make the play down the field.
And a flinch on the right end of the offensive line. Apparently the tight end reset. Bo Carroll gets nothing on 2nd and 10. No gain. Stacked up by Chris Woods, a reserve defensive lineman, and Brian Allen. And time now to answer our Aflac trivia question. The two teams have gone wire to wire, preseason #1 to the national championship in the AP poll. Nebraska in 71, USC in 72. It's been a while since it happened. Bobby Bowden's never had an undefeated season. Yeah. And that might be what it takes.
And both of his sons have. Two of his sons, yes. Barry and Tommy.
Barry at Auburn, Tommy at Tulane. That pass caught by Carroll, but short of the first down by about 3 yards. Bobby Rhodes made the tackle. Johnson was the quarterback on that play. And another decision for Steve Spurrier. This time the punting unit will come on with the ball at the Florida State 44-yard line.
You know, everybody asks, has Steve Spurrier been sandbagging on offense? I don't think so. I mean, one sure sign things aren't perfect offensively. His field goal kicker is 4th in the nation. His punter got the game ball after the game at South Carolina last week. That is very un-Spurrier-like offensively.
And and Ryan will try to do it again inside the 20 with Reggie Durden back deep. And he's out of bounds at the 2. So Ryan might be looking at another game ball. Then as Gooch was down closest to the ball to down it, but he didn't need to. Of course, Gooch was once a running back at Florida State. Transferred to Florida in January of '98, and that is the college football version of going from the Hatfield to McCoys or vice versa.
One of the leading tacklers on special teams, has 9 special teams tackles.
Gooch had an off-the-field episode that was very distressing before the season started when he was carjacked by 2 armed men. Chris Weinke and the Seminoles started their own 2 and get back to the 2 with the run by Miner. Here's Michelle.
Well, you guys were talking about Steve Spurrier questioning his offense a little bit. He's even questioned himself this season. He recently turned to tight ends coach and special teams coordinator Lawson Holland and asked, am I coaching as hard as I used to? Holland said, Coach, you're coaching harder this year. So Spurrier's been perplexed about the fact that his team isn't giving him the results that they normally do. Back to you.
I thought the pregame show brought out a great point in the quote that he made. The defenses are a lot better. It's not as easy anymore.
Weinke did just get rid of it to Marvin Miss for a gain of perhaps 1. Andre Davis made the tackle. Weinke under pressure and looking at a safety if he didn't get that one off.
The one thing you have to avoid if you're Florida State, a penalty with your quarterback in the end zone would be an automatic safety. Weinke can't hold the football very long here. Does a nice job getting rid of it. Big third down play for the Gators.
Each team with 1 timeout left in the half. Under 2.5 minutes left. 3rd down and 9. They blitz. Weinke going deep for Warwick, and it is incomplete. Benny Alexander had excellent coverage. And Florida should get excellent field position after the first punt of the game for the Seminoles.
Sean, excellent play by Benny Alexander. He knew right where the sideline was. He knew right where Peter Warwick was, and he pinned him on the sideline. You use that sideline as an extra defender, and you don't let Warwick have a chance to come back into the football.
Pete Cottrell is the punter, junior from Orlando, right against the back line of the end zone. Bo Carroll standing at the Florida State 45, waiting for the punt.
Good punt.
Very good. Drives Carroll back to his own 45. And outstanding coverage by Reggie Durden. A 52-yard punt. -1 on the return. You talked about 3rd downs at the top of the telecast of the key. You talked about special teams play. And there's a huge special teams play.
Well, we saw a great one by Florida's punter Alan Ryan. Now a great punt by Cottrell, and then even better coverage by Durden on a very dangerous return man. Excellent special teams work by the Seminoles.
And still decent field position for the Gators, but they were hoping to do better than their own 44. 2:03 left in the half. Durden late coming on in defense. The Gators about to line up with 5 wide receivers. Doug Johnson, the quarterback. John Capel shifts into the backfield. He's a world-class credit. Breaks a tackle. And Powers near a first down, about a yard short of it. And the clock runs under 2 minutes. And the ball at the 47-yard line coming up at halftime. The AXA halftime report. Tim and Spencer will have all the scores and highlights on the AXA halftime report.
Each team with 1 timeout left here in the first half. The Gators want to try to conserve that timeout as long as they can here.
Going to a time an issue if they'll stick with the rotation. Bad pass by Johnson going down the seam for Travis Taylor. Reggie Durden had the coverage. And now that the clock stops, they can change the quarterback if they so desire. And Palmer will come in on 3rd down and a long yard, almost 2.
Well, I made the point earlier, Sean, that when the one negative potentially with this alternating quarterback is when you're in, you feel like you've got to make the big play. It's your time to make the big play, and you maybe don't always take what the defense will give you.
A pitch to Carroll. He has the first down. We'll stop the clock for a moment to move the chains. And here's another skirmish.
Same guy, Kenyatta Walker again. He's got to keep his head. He's already involved in one. You know, when you get involved in one of those referees, they get that little notepad out and write your number down. So they're paying extra attention to Kenyatta right now.
They wind the clock. First and 10 at the Florida State 45. Gators down by 10. Johnson, the quarterback. Bo Carroll, the tailback. All kinds of time. And the pass thrown away. Taylor was well covered. You've mentioned a couple times they need a big day from Travis Taylor. He seems to be as healthy as he's been since he injured his ankle in the Tennessee game. But they haven't found many ways to get him the ball so far today.
No, they haven't. And this is the defense that really created some problems for Florida last year. They only rushed 3, and they dropped 8. It's a zone coverage. 8 guys back in coverage. Nowhere to go with the football down the field. Doug Johnson just threw that one away. They got away with playing a lot of that defense last year because they were able to stop the run with this defense as well.
Palmer back in. Again, a 3-man rush. And the pass is caught by Darrell Jackson at the 28-yard line. First down. 12 yards on the gain. Jackson at 6 straight 100-yard receiving games earlier in the year to tie the Florida record set by Carlos Alvarez.
Well, credit those 5 guys up front for the Florida Gators. Look how long this pattern took to develop. Jackson came all the way across the field and caught the crossing route on the other sideline. Great job of pass protecting for Jesse Palmer on that play.
Another first down catch for Jackson. More than 70% of his receptions have gone for a first down. Johnson, the quarterback. There are 30 seconds left in the half. Johnson after the pump fake. Incomplete. Graham was open. Would have been a short gain. And maybe in this situation, thought better that he dropped it.
Yep, you're exactly right.
They were going to have to use their timeout. Graham was going to be tackled in the middle of the field.
Well, Jamal Reynolds was right there to make the stop immediately. And you're right. It is a good thing for Florida that Graham dropped that football.
Johnson seems a little shaky.
Yeah.
That quarterback.
He's got a little happy feet. He's not looking comfortable right now setting and throwing the football. Of the 2, Jesse Palmer has looked a little better here in the first half.
Palmer in a listening. Rush from the pocket. 25 seconds left in the half. It's up for grabs and incomplete. Intended for Travis Taylor. Derek Gibson knocked it away.
You know what? I don't want to sound like I'm picking on Travis Taylor because he has battled the injury. But I don't see him really fighting to get the football. I mean, he's got to play aggressively. He's got to go hard and fight for the football, and I just have not seen it in him in the first half today.
I think Palmer was looking for a little more from Taylor as well.
You know, sometimes when you got receivers like this, you throw the ball up and you let them make plays, and Travis has not been able to come up with that play so far today.
Third down and 10. Johnson has his pass batted down. Brian Allen got a hand on it. Here comes Jeff Chandler to try a field goal with 18 seconds left in the half.
Well, if he kicks it like he kicked that last one, he's got a good shot here because he nailed that last kick.
A 50-yarder, the longest of his career. He's had a terrific season. Now 19 of 22 in field goals. Telecommunications major, junior, from Jacksonville. On a walk-on who earned a scholarship. This will be a 45-yard try out of Billy Young's hole. That one's long enough. And that one's good. Great kick. And the score is now 13-6 in favor of FSU.
So what you're saying is you can't change your oil every 3,000 miles because you're too busy. So you push it. Just like your cheap brother-in-law at one of those all-you-can-eats. Hey, it's your car. You want to learn the hard way? Be my guest. This is reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. You ought to change your oil on time, but if you can't, can you say insurance? Quaker State. It's been tested. It works. What more do you need to know?
Coach Taylor worked late one night in the city of E, the first virtual place on the internet, built by SAP, used by 10,000 companies and millions of people. He found all the soccer equipment his champion Jaguars needed in one easy step. He saved time He saved money, and the Jaguars did the rest. MySAP.com. Welcome to the City of E.
Celine performs her greatest hits in an all-new concert special with guests Gloria Estefan and NSYNC, plus an incredible duet with Frank Sinatra. Celine Dion all the way, CBS Wednesday.
On the delightful early evening in Gainesville, Florida, an entertaining football game as usual between Florida State and Florida. The #1 Seminoles, twice led by 10 points. Twice have had the lead trimmed to 7 by a Jeff Chandler field goal. And with 13 seconds left in the half, Chandler will kick off. Alvin Gardner and Reggie Durden are waiting for the kickoff. Chandler's pumped up. 2 long field goals and a booming kickoff about 6 yards deep. Downed by Durden. Well, Alex Brown has played his best games this year for Florida in the big games, but not so today.
Yeah, fans of the Gators wondering where he's been. Early in the game, they drew him off sides, maybe took a little out of him. This takes it out of a guy, too. The little chip block by Kendra. And then when they've gone one-on-one, he hasn't been able to beat the offensive tackles. In this case, Brett Williams. You see what Alex Brown has done in the big games, but so far, Florida State has done a very nice job of making him very quiet in this first half. No sacks and no pressure.
Some say his effort level changes. Even the coaches say that. But Alex Brown's explanation is that the better teams think they can block him with one man with a good tackle, so he can win the one-on-one battle. So the lesser teams double team me. That's why I haven't been as productive.
I
That's
think
his story. Sticking with it.
I think sometimes his motor doesn't run quite high enough from play to play the way you have to be a great player. And Alex Brown needs to crank it up here in the second half.
Here's Michelle with Coach Spurrier.
Well, Coach, your offense has had some trouble moving the ball up the field. I mean, any thoughts about sticking with one quarterback?
No, they're both struggling. Our offense is struggling a little bit, but we're only a touchdown behind, and we finally got them to punt. So our defense is, we've held them to 13, so we're in the game. We're okay. We got a chance.
Yeah, they've been moving the ball well. On the other hand, how do you get more pressure on Chris Weinke?
I think you just have to cover him a little bit better. He's in the shotgun. It's hard to get a whole bunch.
Coach, thanks a lot.
Okay, Michelle.
Coach, you're talking
At halftime, the score, Florida State 13, Florida 6. Let's go to Tim Rando and Spencer Tillman in New York.
All right, Sean, that truly is Gator bait right there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AXA Halftime Report. And Spencer Tillman, who joins me. Clearly, we're talking about a team, Florida, that's very fortunate to be only down, as Steve mentioned, by a touchdown, and they still haven't really been able to solve Peter Warrick.
That's right. We talked about that in our pregame show. The key is you've got to find a way to stop Peter Warrick. He's lined up behind quarterback 4 different times today. They still haven't found an answer for this guy. The numbers don't really knock you out. 542 receiving, but he still is the key, the difference maker today so far.
We'll see what Steve has up his sleeve in the second half. When we come back, scores and highlights from Rivalry Saturday, including a look at second-ranked Virginia Tech when the AXA Halftime Report continues. Oh, I'll say, even if you account for him, Peter Warrick, almost unstoppable.
Celine's greatest hits in an all-new concert special, all the way, CBS Wednesday.
With digital wireless service from Bell South Mobility at just $10 a month.
But mine must be yours.
Their lowest rate ever?
Hello? Oh, hi.
Everyone's going wireless. Literally. And for just $10 more, you can add unlimited night and weekend calling or 100 anytime minutes. With prices this low, nothing surprises me anymore.
Almost overnight, it became part of the landscape and changed everything. It made trips seem less like work, errands easier, the cottage closer. It was so comfortable it was like we never left home. And like home, there's still no place like it. Dodge Caravan. The most innovative, most imitated, most trusted, best-selling minivan ever. Starting at $18,025.
What can I do for you, Mr. Manning? How should I invest my money? What you need, my friend, is a game plan. Right here, baby. Right here. First, we're going to start with some mutual funds right up front. Then we're going to block taxes with an IRA. Catch them off guard. Then we're going to make an end run with some annuities. Maybe go long with some stocks. All the while keeping our eyes on early retirement. So you, my friend, score. So what do you think?
I love investing with First Tennessee.
I do about 70,000 miles a year in this car, and I go through a lot of tires. My name is Louis LeBeau, and I drive this cab for a living. I'm also a volunteer fireman. I use this cab to get the fires. Whenever I have to spend money on this car, it comes out of my pocket. He's a top-of-the-line Goodyear. They got him at Walmart. They got BF Goodrich, Goodyear. They got Michelin. That's where I got him right there. I send my daughter in there for tires and all changes. I know they'll treat her right. They got name brand tires and all, and great prices.
For the Walmart Tire and Lube store, come around to the back door.
How you gonna beat that?
City of Chattanooga, Gone to the Dogs, Monday night at 6 on News 12.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
We welcome you back to our New York studios, or as we like to term it, Mission Control. Spencer Tillman alongside Tim Brando. Hokey, hokey, hokey high. How about those boys from VPI? What's going on, you say? Well, Frank Beamer says, how about 62 unanswered? Put that in your BCS pipe and smoke it. And here they go to work, going crazy this season. The Virginia Tech team and looking deep, and Michael Vick can go deep.
Michael Vick is incredible. You sure this guy is a redshirt first freshman? I like what he does here. Fundamentally sound, making guys miss, and then he's got the ball in his left arm. That's the correct place to have it, or away from the defender.
Blow somebody out and then have an understated spokesperson as your head coach, like Frank Beamer.
Well, it's great to be in this position that we're in right now, and you know, there's still a lot of football to be played. And when I say that, I mean, maybe not so much in games, but, you know, when you're playing at this time of the year and, you know, you're where we are, you're playing for a lot.
That's right, Coach. They avenged last year's loss, and don't blame him for running it up. When computers determine a title, you got to run it up. Tennessee and Kentucky, border rivalry between these two. Oh, Smokey was on hand, and Travis Henry was smoking during the course of this ball game.
Travis Henry was on fire, fundamentally sound here on this play, too. Just ripping right through that defense. I'm telling you what, that's the way you do it. You don't need to worry about which hand the ball is in that situation. You're out in front of guys, got them in your hip pocket, you take it to the house.
Jamal Lewis was out with an injury. It didn't really matter because of the play of Henry. And then Martin to Martin, T to Davis for the touchdown pass. Hey, the Volunteers are still looking good for a possible second hit out of the SEC into one of those BCS bowls that pays millions and millions of dollars. Ohio State and Michigan, Buckeyes were trying to become bowl eligible. Looked good early. You know, they lost a lot of talent from last year's squad that contended for the national title, but played well early today.
Yeah, I like what they're doing here. Ballester rolling left. He hits his tight end, Kevin Hauser there. That's just effort, sheer effort, getting in for the 7-0 lead. Brady again, they like to work that tight end this year. That's something new for them. They're doing more of it. And Ohio State coach John Cooper, he's liking what he's seeing there. Michigan quarterback Tom Brady, he's going to hit his wide receiver Marquise Walker here. He runs it in for a 10-yard touchdown, gave the Wolverines a 24-17 lead. Michigan holds on to get it done, 24-17.
Wolverines now 9-2 in one of the last 12 meetings. That will not make them happy at the old horseshoe of the banks of the old Intangi. Missouri and Kansas State 66-0, and Kansas State saying, ouch, babe, from that loss to Nebraska a week ago. Beasley looking for Lockett deep again.
And when you do that, you got to take it up top and go get it. Lockett doing a fine job of running that ball down and getting underneath and making plays.
Wow, Missouri outscored 124-0 in the last 3 road games. Penn State, Michigan State. Well, the Spartans had circled this one a long time ago, 28-7. Plaxico Burris, another big day. Penn State linebacker LeVar Arrington not playing. Some thought early it was discipline. Turns out he had a shoulder injury. Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, 20-0. Joe Hamilton, my Heisman candidate, 9 of 14, 95 yards, 1 INT. Morgan Kane, 17 for 150 yards. California and Stanford, 21-13 in this ball game. Delta O'Neal, 100-yard kickoff return as well as a punt return for a touchdown. 6 TDs in returns this season. That's a school record. And the Apple Cup at stake. At halftime, Washington 17-6 over Washington State. Somebody's got to win the Pac-10. Stanford appears the team that's on its way to playing Wisconsin in the run for the Roses. And do you remember when this game really mattered? I mean, it used to matter a great deal. Beeman, OJ, remember, 1967. 10-7 in the second quarter. USC with the lead right now. Still to come, more scores and highlights from a big day in college football when the AXA halftime report continues. Right now, Steve Spurrier having to settle for 3s. Sort of a headache for him, but he'll take Chandler's food to get me to within 7.
This is sacred ground. This ranch has been in the Stevens family for 75 years. I know. I've helped 3 generations hold on to it.
Tom Rose, AXA Advisors.
The only way to keep a business successful and in the family is with smart planning.
AXA Advisors, part of a global company helping 40 million people.
It's tough out here. The weather, beef prices, and there's an uncle named Sam who always gets his cut.
AXA Advisors, building futures. Step up. Learn to see farther. Learn there are teachers who won't allow you to fail. Learn to dance, to draw. Learn that the real challenge doesn't come from the outside, but from within. And that there's more to you than you ever knew. Be all you can be.
You know how you're supposed to eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza?
Bill doesn't get it. Backwards, Bill. The other way. Backwards, Bill. Backwards. That boy. Now bite it. Billy. Bite it, Billy.
Jill's not afraid to eat her stuffed crust backwards. Everybody knows how to eat stuffed crust pizza backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with a pizza. A large one topping is $9.99. Jill's made of tougher stuff than Bill.
Take a bite, Billy. Backwards, Bill. Keep your chin up, Bill.
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Here's your regular internet homepage. And here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo, Excite, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
Very loyal to this site. I'm not going to abandon it for some new guy with a truckload of cash.
You're kidding.
Of course. Do I look like an idiot? Look at this cash.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
We are the fast cats in the global energy business. We're much leaner, more agile, and a lot more innovative than the other cats. And that's why to a fast cat, anything is possible. Think big, move fast, Conoco.
I love Georgia football. I've grown up around it all my life. 1977, Minnesota versus Michigan. Washington Huskies were ranked #1. Arizona had a great defense in the Desert Storm. 80,000 screaming fans firing you up, being between the hedges. And the Gophers beat Michigan that day 16-0. It was just a great day to see the Cats come out, beat the #1 ranked team. I was out in the middle of the field, jumping up and down, arms raised. I turned on, I was the only person out there running around in the field. Like a total fool, and I've always loved college football.
Time now for the CBS Sportsline Millennium Poll. This week's category, Greatest Defensive Player. Your choices, the Oklahoma Sooners' dominating lineman, Leroy Selmon. 1980 Lombardi Award winner, Hugh Green, the lightning-quick Panther defensive end. And Charles Woodson, the first primarily defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. Other choices include legendary Jim Thorpe, two of the toughest names in the game, Nagurski and Butkus. Remember, you can write in your own choice. AOL users can vote by entering keyword CBS Sportsline. The results will be announced at the Wells Fargo Sun Bowl on December 31st. Back here at the AXA halftime report, Glenn Mason turned down Vince Dooley for the coaching job at Georgia in 1995 on Christmas Day. Then he went packing from Kansas to Minnesota. He's done a pretty good job. 25-21 today. They beat Iowa, and not bad when you've got a Billy Cockerham that can throw a little flare out there to Arlen Bruce, who just motors past the Hawkeyes. 25-21. By the way, it's the first winless Big Ten season for the Hawkeyes since 1973, 25-21, the final. Purdue and Indiana, the old Oak and Bucket at stake, and a seesaw battle indeed.
Back and forth kind of contest. They're going to take a 6-point lead as Purdue as Vinny Sutherland scores on a 65-yard punt return. Special teams, 1/3 of the game. It's impressive today. They go on to win it as Purdue 30-24.
Drew Brees is coming back to be the Heisman frontrunner next year. 15 of 24, 197 yards en route to the win today. North Carolina State, East Carolina, noteworthy. Mike O'Kane, his job in jeopardy. Steve Logan could be leaving. LSU's very interested in the East Carolina head coach. Boston College and Notre Dame. BC coming from behind in this game. That's very important to Virginia Tech for BCS purposes. Remember, they get them next Friday. Many of you will see it right here on CBS. Clemson and South Carolina. Lou Holtz, 0-11. First time that's happened to a team that's not been on probation in the SEC in the history of the conference. But how about this for 4th down? Clemson coach Tommy Bowden decides to go deep. Woodrow Dantzler hits Rod Garner from 29 yards. That was a close game up until that point. and Clemson winds up winning it 31-21 in the Palmetto State. Rutgers and Miami, 55-0 Canes without Kenny Kelly in this game because of that MCL. And how about this for a nice story, Stan?
It just warms your heart. Jared Payton's been watching his dad's highlight, making a miss, pulling his way through that Scarlet Knight defense. Canes taking on big time, 55-0 advantage there. And you bet, young fella, Dad's listening. He sees you. That's a special touchdown.
One of those games that really makes Syracuse's loss to Rutgers look awfully, awfully bad. 55-0 Miami, the winner today. And Maryland and Virginia. A whopping rushing day for Lamont Jordan. 306 yards on 37 carries as they were going up against Thomas Jones and that outstanding running back for the Virginia Cavaliers. Coming up, the second half of the Florida State-Florida game, and let's get your thoughts on what Florida's got to do to make it work.
Well, one of the things that I like that they're doing right now, Tim, we addressed this in the open, 7-11 now on third down conversion. That's an improvement. The problem is on the penalties, they've got 6 of them for 30-plus yards. That has to be reduced if they have a chance.
Todd's mentioned it many times. You know, they got to get Travis Taylor involved, and also Bo Carroll. Look out for number 2 in the second half. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the game.
The AXA Halftime Report is sponsored by AXA Advisors.
I have a couple who came in and had just so much cash and they were petrified. They wanted to retire and yet they weren't sure they could retire. Katie Leiper.
Back live in Gainesville at halftime. Florida State, number 1 in the nation, has a 7-point lead over Florida Monday on CBS. Friends and relatives you've avoided all year are spending Thanksgiving weekend at your place. You survived the holiday without going crazy. An all-new King of Queens Monday on CBS. Here's Ed Cunningham with Bobby Bowden.
Coach, the first half, you guys came out with a lot of motion. It seemed to kind of slow down there at the end. You weren't getting much rush on the quarterback's Florida. What is the adjustment for that in the second half?
Well, we're just going to try to get to him. It's a matter of fighting. That's all it is. And we've got to him a couple of times and haven't tackled him. We got to get him on the ground.
We saw a lot of tricks here in the first half. You got any more for the second half?
We got a lot of them, but they're looking for everything, and we're looking for everything, so sometimes they're not very effective.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Amazing numbers. 13 straight seasons of 10 wins or more. They're looking for win number 11 of this season. The second half kickoff in a moment.
The critics agree.
James Bond is here.
The World Is Not Enough is a spectacular, fun-filled jaw-dropper. So buckle up for a wild ride. 2 thumbs up. The World Is Not Enough. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
I want to thank the people at the food bank for all the food you've been bringing me, especially the tangerines. I've been sick, and they've been a wonderful surprise.
For over 20 years, Kraft, part of the Philip Morris family of companies, has been a leader in the fight against hunger. After all, who's better suited to feed the hungry than America's largest food company? Working to make a difference, the people of Philip Morris.
Once upon a time, there was a gentleman came in from the island, and he had this huge list of things to buy. Wow. Let's start enlightening. They had sent him over here to buy all the supplies they needed for the whole year. Next, we're going to lumber, plumbing, hardware. He says, you know, they gave me 4 days to do this, and I got it all done in one stop at Home Depot.
Change drill bits faster with the Rapid Load Quick Change System from DeWalt. It works on any type of drill, and it's available at the guaranteed low price every day at the Home Depot.
Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that. Let's go, ladies, pick it up.
You bought a bowling ball. You joined a league. You ate fries, you drank beer. You lost your girlish figure. You threw a gutter ball in the league championship. You lost the tournament, the trophy, and your friends. You should have gone to netmarket.com. At least you would have saved money on the bowling ball. 800,000 items, all at great prices, netmarket.com. Save time, save money, save your sanity.
I am the Black & Decker pivot driver. At first glance, I seem rather straight, but in a flash, I snap into action. I'm the only screwdriver with the secret identity. I am the pivot driver. I am built by Black & Decker.
Hello, little man. Oh, the horror! The horror!
about new toaster muffins from Eggo. Warm and muffiny on the inside, crispy on the outside, and shaped to fit in your toaster. It's the muffin you'll never want to let go. New toaster muffins from Eggo.
I'm the muffin man. Oh, the horror of it all.
Round 2. How would Georgia match up against Ball State?
Take me out to the ball game. I don't have that info.
Let's check out passing, scoring, total offense.
Whoa, how do you do that?
Well, with CBS Sportsline, you can match up any team in Division I and 1AA. Pick a team, any team.
CBS Sportsline, when you've got to know more.
Back at the Swamp and ready for the start of the second half. Florida will kick off. Jeff Chandler puts his right foot to the ball. Couple yards into the end zone. It's Reggie Durden. And he's stopped shy of the 20-yard line. Excellent coverage by the inspired Gators. And we heard Steve Spurrier say to Michelle Tafoya, they're only down 7. And the way the half went, you watch the game, you'd think they are kind of fortunate to only be down 7. Particularly early, it looked like Florida State had an edge.
Yeah, it looked like they really had the defense off balance. And let's revisit the keys to the game before the game. Offensive line play has been even in that first half. Third down conversions an edge to Florida State, particularly this first scoring drive. They were 3 for 3. Special teams even. Yards after contact, a slight edge for Florida State. Their receivers made more plays in that first half than Florida did.
On the 18, after the nice special teams played by Demetrius Lewis of Florida, Winky in the flat to Warren. He breaks a tackle. He's still behind the line of scrimmage. Marquand Manuel runs him down from behind for a loss of 3 back to the 15. Manuel missed him the first time, but managed to catch up to Peter Warrick. He was a hard man to catch in the first half.
Well, he is so elusive. He has the ability to stop and start on the dime, as evidenced by this play, coming all the way back across the field for the touchdown, the only touchdown of the ball game.
Oinke throws short, caught again by Warrick, out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Chased out by Daryl Dixon. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Now a look at the halftime statistics. Neither team rushed the ball with success.
No, and the one thing right here is that Florida made up about 3 minutes in time of possession in the second quarter. They were really getting dominated in that category in the first quarter, made up for it in the second.
And Florida State over the ball quickly, and Florida looked a bit confused on defense, and that pass is broken up. Benny Alexander made the quick move on Warrick. Winky eyeing Warrick on every play. Florida defensive coaches in animated conversation, probably about the confusion of their players at the line of scrimmage prior to this play.
Good opening possession for the Gator defense. Alexander with the play here, but the tempo was set by Marquand Manuel's play on first down. Just a great effort play on Peter Warrick. Set the tone for that series for the Gators.
Heath Cottrell to punt. The punter for the 3rd straight year. Averaging 42 yards per punt, and better than that in this game. 42 yards for the season coming in. He might have outkicked the coverage. Bo Carroll with a nifty return, a flag down. Reggie Durden made the tackle. He's been a presence on special teams. A 51-yard punt. A 15-yard return to the flag in the area where you'd expect an illegal block against the return team.
Yeah, I think Jamal Reynolds got blocked in the back on this play.
Block in the back on the receiving team during the return. 10 yards, spot of the foul. First down.
Right, here you go. Yep. There's the block.
There's Derek Corker with the illegal block for Florida. Live above Ben Hill Griffin Stadium today, the Bud 1 airship providing beautiful aerial shots of Gainesville in today's game. Well, that's a field position changer. They're back at the 28-yard line with Doug Johnson taking the first snap of the second half. Play action, fake turn with Graham. Deep down in the lane, caught for a first down. They established Travis Taylor right away, and that was a much more confident-looking throw from Johnson than what we saw in the first half, a gain of 16.
Sean, he's just too good of a football player to not get him involved in what you're doing. He had 1 catch for 9 yards in the first half. Go right to him to start the second half. Get him involved in the game. Get his confidence up. Get his dauber up a little bit. Good way to start for Travis Taylor.
Second catch for Taylor. Predominantly pass plays with Johnson. Palmer in there now. Ernest Graham banged ahead to the 48-yard line and picked up of almost 4. What happened to your alma mater today?
They're still reeling from the Minnesota game. They have not recovered from a couple weeks ago. Michigan State's a pretty good football team.
Yes, they are.
Playing for a lot today. There's a major bowl switch going on there as the winner or loser of that game.
Johnson at the helm. Roethlisberger told Michelle he wasn't going to settle on one quarterback here in the second half because both have struggled. Taylor had the pass sail over his head. Mario Edwards had the coverage.
When you're a player like Corey Simon, you're going to get a lot of attention. This time, Cheston Blackshear got a little help from his center, Yarbrough, who's there just in case he gets beat. Corey Simon attracts a lot of attention on the inside of the offensive line. He's a guy who has played through injuries all season.
Really through his whole career.
That's right.
Now one of the 4 finalists for the Lombardi Award is the nation's top lineman. Palmer on 3rd down. Throw, sliding catch made by Kirk Wells. There's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Actually behind the line of scrimmage. The Gators have been throwing to the, and the play will come back, have been throwing to the tight ends much more often the last few weeks. Wells a frequent target today, but that reception will be negated by the holding call.
Good effort. I think Mike Pearson, the left tackle, is the guy who got caught with the holding penalty.
Wells just 216 pounds, one of the reasons he hasn't played as much as he ordinarily would. He has a problem most of us would like to have. He can't put on weight. He eats and eats and eats, and he's in the weight room, and he just can't put on weight.
Oh, he's not quite fast enough to be a wide receiver, so he has to play tight end, and it's tough to play tight end at that size. Take a look in the second half on 3rd downs. Florida has been abysmal. Florida State's defense has been outstanding. Have not allowed a conversion in the last 3 games.
From Clemson, Virginia, Maryland, and a sack of Johnson, the first of the day for Jamal Reynolds, his team-leading 7th sack of the season.
He drew the holding penalty the last play. This time he got around Pearson and made the sack. Here he is right here working on Pearson. Jamal coming with the speed rush, and Pearson, trouble getting out of his stance. He got called for the holding, maybe a little tentative, and Reynolds went right around him.
Reynolds, a junior from Aiken, South Carolina. Here's Alan Ryan to punt. Reggie Durden was back for the punt. And now there's a stop in the action and a timeout called by the Seminoles. 12:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter in Gainesville. It's Florida State 13 and Florida 6.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
That's them. Naughty little beavers.
The Dark Angel is loose from his prison.
Where the hell are you going?
Face the world. No! God forgive us!
End of days. Rated R. The end is coming. November 24th.
You know how you're supposed to eat Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza?
Bill doesn't get it. Backwards, Zero. The other way. Backwards, Bill, backwards. That boy. Now bite it. Billy, How you feeling?
Jill's not afraid to eat her stuffed crust backwards. Everybody knows how to eat stuffed crust pizza backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with a pizza. A large one topping is $9.99. Jill's made of tougher stuff than Bill.
Take a bite, Bill. Eat backwards, Bill. Keep your chin up, Bill.
Stuffed crust, another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Alan Ryan to punt. Good kick. Peter Warwick hit immediately, and a flag comes down. They didn't give him the 2-yard radius. A 46-yard punt, and the former Seminole Vanez Gooch a little bit too close to Warwick when he fielded that punt. You have to give him that 2-yard circle, and Gooch was tighter than that.
Fair catch interference on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Gooch did a great job of hustling down the field and beating his man, but he's just got to pull off. When he knows that Warwick hasn't made the catch, he's got to pull off and not try to get so close. It's a good job of coverage, but just a bad decision at the end by Gooch.
So Florida State begins at its own 29. After a fast start for the FSU offense, they've been less productive of late. Travis Minor trying to turn that back around, and he gets ridden out of bounds by Marquand Manuel. 12-yard gain for Minor, number 5 in Florida State history now, among their all-time leading rushers in his 3rd season as the starting tailback in Tallahassee.
And again, you see the cutting ability of Travis Minor. Nothing there inside, one quick plant foot, and then the speed to get to the outside.
Mark Richt, the offensive coordinator, says Dunn's one of the best tackle breakers they've ever had. Winky stripped of the ball. It is loose. Alex Brown pulled the ball out, but it looks like the Noles got it back, and they did at the 32-yard line. So finally the presence of Alex Brown is made known.
And he did his thing, Sean. He timed the snap count. He got a great jump. Watch him. He got a great jump working on Williams and got right around him because he anticipated the snap count and got his hand on the football. When he gets around the quarterback, he's going to make a play. I mean, he just has done that all season. He just had trouble getting to the quarterback today.
2nd and 19. Single season sack record at Florida now for Alex Brown with that sack. 13 for the year. The passing mark put up by Huey Richardson. Winky's throw incomplete. Dugans was streaking down the sideline. And Winky thought he was going to turn back to the ball. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, guys, Florida defensive coordinator John Hogue told me at halftime that outside of the penalties that allowed Florida State's touchdown, his team has played just fine. He wants them to relax a little and make plays. He said you can't let interceptions bounce out of your hands. Sean?
Yeah, we saw Keith Kelsey have one in his hands in that first half. And Chris Weinke, when he's pressured, he will throw some in the area of the defense, and you've got to make plays.
Weinke, all day to throw, going deep, and it is over the head of Peter Warwick. They had 2 defenders in the neighborhood, Benny Alexander and Darrell Dixon. John Hogue's defense saluted by the sellout crowd in Gainesville.
Nice job by the young safety Dixon coming over the top to help his corner. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback. He's watching where Weinke wants to go with the football, and then he's breaking over the top to help the corner.
Every time these 2 teams have met in the 90s, they've both been ranked in the top 10. And that's the case again today with this matchup of 1 versus 3. Heath Cockle, another booming punt. Bo Carroll signal for a fair catch. A signal that apparently was missed by Malcolm Tatum. 52-yard punt. No flag on the play. And the Gators will begin at their own 16-yard line, trailing by a touchdown. 10:42 left in the 3rd.
I am an American soldier. I am a member of the United States Army.
You are my brother. You are my sister. You are brave.
And full of courage.
You're my son. You are my daughter.
You're a peacekeeper. I am proud of my country and its flag. You stand tall.
You make
me proud.
You keep your promises.
You keep me safe.
You are my hero.
And you keep freedom alive. For I am an American soldier.
What would
would you do with a crystal face hand-polished to withstand 2 tons of unadulterated pressure? What would you do with a tachymetric scale so precise it can survive 240-degree heat? What would you do with the world-renowned Alpha Expedition timepiece? Well, you'd probably just use it to tell time. And at $6,500, that watch could cost you over $30,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
I was born to be a cashier. I've been a cashier for 35 years. That's my office right over there. That's where I do all of my business. Good muscles working. I know most of my customers by name. Really, I do. Hi, Gabby. How have you been, Rico? Thanks, George. You don't have to stand in my line because I'm fast. For me, it's an easy job because I have so much fun doing it. Our goal here at Home Depot is to have the lowest prices in town. If you find an item in another store for a lower price, we'll meet and beat that price. Does that make you happy, ma'am? Extremely happy. People deserve good prices because money is hard to come by.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Gateway, Sun America, the United States Army, and by the Home Depot.
Back live at the Swamp in Gainesville. 1st and 10, Florida, down by a touchdown. The Gators started their own 16. Doug Johnson going deep, and a diving catch made by Taylor. All the way to the 42-yard line. 27 yards on the completion. Mario Edwards and Derek Gibson in the vicinity. And a great catch made by Taylor, the junior from Jacksonville.
The ankle looks better, and the mindset looks better for Travis Taylor. Beautiful throw by Doug Johnson. Great concentration by Taylor at the end of the play. And again, he is one of the playmakers, a difference maker for this Gator offense. He's got to be involved in the second half if Florida wants to win.
Jesse Palmer takes the reverse, throws it in the flat. Bo Carroll inside the 30 and down at the 20-yard line. Derek Gibson saved the touchdown. A gain of 39 on the completion. Palmer to one of the best track men in college track and field, the great sprinter, Bo Carroll.
Well, Carroll came from out of the backfield. He's going to go inside here and kind of get lost after the play-action fake. Florida State concerned with the wide receivers. They're concerned with the fake of the reverse, and Carroll slips out against the linebacker, wide open against Bradley Jennings, and then uses his speed at the end of the play. Nice play call by Steve Spurrier.
Carroll 8 times a track and field All-American. Ernest Graham through a huge hole inside the 5 and stopped at the 1. Gibson saved the touchdown again. 19 yards. Back-to-back big plays, a rarity these days for the Gators.
Nice blocking on the left side. The tight end, the guard, and the tackle. Watch them set for pass. They run the little draw. Nice block by Cooper Carlisle, the guard, number 70. And then the power at the end of the play by Ernest Graham. Breaking tackles, protecting the football, fighting for the end zone.
1st and goal at the 1. Palmer, the quarterback. He keeps. Flag down. And apparently Palmer did not get in. Flag thrown along the line of scrimmage just as the ball was snapped. Where you would expect either an offside or an illegal procedure.
My guess would be Florida State lined up in the neutral zone, offsides against the Seminoles because it was not blown dead.
The procedure on the offense. Only 6 men on the line. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, a moment ago in the Florida coach's booth, this was the reaction. Noah Brandeis, Buddy Stevens, the running back coach, with the headset half on his head. Buddy, the former coach at Tulane, deserves a lot of credit for bringing in that talent that did so well under Tommy Bowden.
You know, Ed Cunningham made the point about Bobby Bowden's memory of being on the goal line on the 1-yard line and having the penalty. Could be a similar situation for Steve Spurrier here in the Swamp. Costly penalty there on the 1.
And the 10th penalty against the Gators. They've been penalized for 60 yards. 1st and goal from the 6. Approaching 9 minutes left in the 3rd. Johnson throwing a fade, incomplete. Looking for Darrell Jackson. Mario Edwards had the coverage. Jesse Palmer will return. He's the son of a football player. His dad, Bill, played in the Canadian Football League in the 1970s, a linebacker. They're a little bit better this year in the red zone, scoring a touchdown 57% of the time than they were last year when they had an abysmal 44%. Palmer throwing the fade again for Jackson. Broken up and flags thrown on Mario Edwards. So that'll get him back to first and goal if it is in fact against Edwards, as it appeared to be.
Steve is one of the only coaches that you're going to see in America that will call the same play 2 times in a row. Every other coach says, oh no, we can't do that. You can't repeat yourself. He says, this is a good play. We didn't hit it the last time. Go right back to it, Jesse.
On the defense, we have an ineligible receiver downfield. On the offense,
clearly a penalty.
The penalties are set. Replay, second down.
There was an illegal man downfield. I think it was Cheston Blackshear, the right guard for Florida. There was a discussion between Palmer and Blackshear after the play. And obviously a miscommunication on the play.
So it's going to be second and goal from the 5.
No, it was the center. It was the center. Yarborough right here, downfield blocking in the end zone on the fade route.
Johnson, the quarterback. 3 wide receivers. Graham, the back. Second and goal from the 5. Johnson under duress, threw it away at the feet of Travis Taylor. Cleveland Thomas had the coverage.
Doug knows he's going to get pressure, but he's got to go ahead and try to set his feet and make a good throw. Very difficult to make that throw in the quick slant when you're backing up.
And a lot of confusion on the Florida sideline. I believe they're going to use a timeout. With third and goal upcoming from the 5. And, boy, right now that procedure penalty on first and goal on the 1 really jumps out.
And a good timeout, I think. They need to have their best play called right here, and they need to all be on the same page. A critical third down play for the Gators.
Each team has used 1 timeout here in the second half. It's still Florida State by 7.
They're the largest creatures on Earth. They've adapted and evolved with strength and determination. The kind of strength that helps the Pacific Life family of companies manage more than $300 billion for its clients. And determination that has guided Pacific Life for 130 years. Size, strength, longevity, offering annuities, insurance, and investments. Use the power of Pacific Life.
With its powerful V6 engine and rugged construction, the Grand Vitara is perfectly engineered to speed you to safe haven. The V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki. Motor Week's best small SUV of the year. Be a part of football history. Cast your official vote for the Heisman Trophy winner now at your Suzuki automotive dealer.
There's nothing like having house guests for Thanksgiving. The King of Queens.
How naked? Any nakeder, and I'd have seen organs.
And all new episodes, CBS Monday.
And now a look at this week's Suzuki Heisman Watch Update.
Back in our New York studios, Tim Brando along with Spencer Tillman. Ron Dayne may be the Heisman favorite, but Thomas Jones of Virginia is nipping at his heels.
Yeah, TJ had a pretty good day today. 28 carries for 91 yards. He set the ACC all-time rushing mark, but I think Ron Dayne has got this thing locked up. Otherwise, this would be a great opportunity as Wisconsin finished this thing out early, so you got a couple of weeks for guys to play catch-up.
And for more information on the Suzuki Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
Third down and goal from just outside the 5. Jesse Palmer at quarterback. Florida looking for a tying touchdown.
8-man drop here.
Palmer just got the throw off, and it's incomplete. Intended for Darrell Jackson. And even with 3 men coming,
they still got pressure.
They did. They hurried the throw from Jesse Palmer. It was Jamal Reynolds who's been a consistent force up front, putting the heat on.
Reynolds got the pressure, but again, you can't expect, the quarterback's got to think my 5 can block their 3. 8 defenders against 5 receivers and no depth of field to defend with the end zone right there. As you see the pressure by Reynolds, a good defensive play by the Seminoles.
Now Jeff Chandler trying to make it 3 for 3 in field goals today. A 22-yarder. It is good. He still has not missed from inside the 40-yard line this year. So a hollow ending for Florida. They had first and goal at the 1 and settled for 3 points.
I just retired with a fair amount of money in my 401k, but the problem was it was all over the place. We sat down, we discussed an enormous amount of things. It's like telling your doctor almost. This is my personal financial plan. This is actually my playbook. I know exactly where I'm going with everything. It's got my current financial position, where my investments are, life insurance, education planning, retirement planning, planning for estate and taxes. Essentially, this book covers my whole life. I mean, it really is a game plan.
What's going on? Hey. Wow, this is nice. But I thought Stacy said if you bought new tools, she gets a new dining room set.
Yeah, she did.
So where are the table and chairs?
You're standing on them.
Fine woodworking tools from Ridgid. A name proven by pros since 1923. Take our 10-inch compound miter saw, equipped with a high-performance 40-tooth carbide blade. Ridgid. Buy them at the Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Divisional duels dominate. The Pats fight back against the Dolphins. The Seahawks streak into KC, where the Chiefs are unbeatable. Sunday on CBS.
13-9, Florida State. I bet that young fan is a fan of Ricky Martin. Friday on CBS, the international superstar takes New York by storm with his first ever network special. Ricky Martin, one night only. That's Friday on CBS. Bobby Bowden, well knows, and as he said earlier, no lead is ever safe in this rivalry. Chandler put all 9 points on the board for Florida with 3 field goals, and he'll kick off. Florida State, Jermaine Stringer and Talman Gardner back for the kickoff. The Noles lead by 4. Chandler, another excellent kickoff through the hands of Stringer and out of the back of the end zone. The Florida State will begin at the 20.
Sean, let's go back to that first down and goal situation. The 2 receivers, one of them has to move up on the line of scrimmage. You have to have 7 on the line of scrimmage, and Travis Taylor is pointing to Darrell Jackson saying, you got to move up, you got to move up. They both stayed there as the sneak was run, and then the penalty backed them up 5 yards. A very costly mental mistake by one of those 2 receivers. In that case, it looked like Darrell Jackson.
And that's been a season-long problem for Florida. Chris Weinke trying to get this offense going again. He handed off to Minor. And the rushing problems continue on both sides. Minor got just 2. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Came out of the same high school that sent Warwick Dunn to Tallahassee. Catholic high school. He wore Warwick's number 28 in high school, changed to 23 at FSU to make his own mark. And he gets the handoff again. Keith Kelsey, the initial hit, and then Darrell Dixon, the true freshman, up from the free safety position to make the play. So 2 running plays starting at their own 20. A lot of comparisons over the years between Minor and Warwick Dunn, but we talked with Mark Britt, the offensive coordinator, said really they're different players. Yep. Stylistically, that ball's up for grabs and intercepted by Benny Alexander. He's going to take it in. Touchdown in the lead for Florida. Benny Alexander, a 43-yard interception return for a touchdown. Chandler just did get the extra point up and through. Florida leads for the first time in the game. It's a 3-point edge for the Gators midway through the third.
Sean, Chris Weinke saw all this confusion in here, and he tried to go on a quick count. He tried to get the ball snapped before Florida was ready, and he did. They were not ready for the play. But then he just kind of threw it up for grabs and underthrew it, and Alexander made the play. Great reaction by the Florida secondary, even though they weren't ready to get lined up to play defense. Alexander makes the play, and not only makes the interception, but makes the touchdown. And a huge turnaround for the Florida Gators.
And the secondary, very young. They start 3 sophomores and a true freshman. Alexander's a sophomore, the most experienced defensive back for Florida with 17 career starts. They've done an excellent job against these talented wideouts, particularly of late. That's the second interception return for a touchdown this year for Alexander. He took one back 42 yards against Alabama for a score.
When we talked about third downs, since Florida State's first drive, when they were 3 for 3, they have gone 4 of 11 now for the game. And so in the third down situation, Florida has really started to take control there with their defense, and no bigger play on third down than the one right there by Alexander.
Steve Spurrier said at the beginning of the year, with such a young and experienced defense, we may have to score a lot of points to win games. Well, over the last 5 games, it's been the defense growing up in a hurry, carrying the Florida offense.
And I think, going back to the first play out of the locker room, Marquand Manuel's play on Peter Warrick, chasing him all over the field, set the tempo for this second half for the Florida defense.
Chandler with another kick into the end zone. Jermaine Stringer from a yard or 2 deep has a hole. And a good tackle made in that seam, because had Todd Johnson not made that tackle, Stringer might have been off to the races. Tomorrow on the CBS Sports Spectacular, members of the 1999 World Cup Championship team, including Mia Hamm, square off indoors to get some of the best international players in the Toys R Us Victory Tour tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. And this is another in the long list of spectaculars between FSU and Florida. Jeff Chaney in at running back as Wanky goes out of the shotgun and finds Robert Morgan. He's out to the 33 and appears to have a first down.
Wanky, an opportunity to work under adverse circumstances. Mark Richt said it was good that we had the game at Clemson, that we did a hostile environment. They were playing us off our feet. Wanky had to get us together to get us to win that football game. They were down at Virginia in the first half. He brought him back.
1st and 10. The rush well picked up, and Ron Dugans goes out of bounds at the 42, a little bit short of the first down. We flash back to 1993. Florida State then number 1, Florida number 7. Florida State led 27-21 in the 4th quarter. Charlie Ward hooked up with Warwick Dunn, a 79-yard touchdown down the sideline. And the Seminoles won 33-21. They went on to win the national championship. That was the last time the visiting team won in this rivalry. Inside handoff to Jeff Chaney. He has the first down and more into Florida territory at the 48-yard line.
You know, one thing you got to remember about Chris Wanky is that this is by far the biggest game that he's ever played in. He got hurt in the Virginia game last year, so he did not play in this game against Florida. He did not play in the national championship game against Tennessee. So this year, the Florida game, the biggest game of Chris Wanky's career at Florida State.
27-year-old quarterback from St. Paul, Minnesota. Throws a lateral to Warwick with some space. He runs out of bounds. Didn't want to take on the defender, Benny Alexander. Settled for a gain to the 44-yard line. A pickup of 4. Down to 6:37 left in the 3rd. Florida leads by 3.
What's Alex Brown doing? This time they go with the cut block. They're giving him a lot of different looks. You know, you respect a player by doing different things to him, showing him different blocking schemes, bringing different people at him. That time they cut it.
8 catches, 52 yards for Warwick. They blow the play dead. Florida called a timeout before the snap. So they've done a good job on Warwick in those yards after the catch that you were talking about. 8 catches, but 52 yards, a low total to go with 8 receptions.
So what will happen to all this now that you're going virtual?
We're not going virtual.
I read you're getting into internet trading, online cash management.
Well, we are, yes.
The end of an era.
Not at all. Online trading and the rest of it are simply new tools we're
You
making
don't have
available.
to sugarcoat it for me, but I must tell you, I'm going to miss our little chats.
Nelson, I'm not going away. The office isn't going away.
Coffee? The ticker?
Not going away.
What about the little bull?
Not going away.
Good.
We are the fast cats in the global energy business. We're much leaner, more agile, and a lot more innovative than the other cats. And that's why, to a fast cat, anything is possible. Think big, move fast, Conoco.
Welcome a new player to Texas Stadium.
Hi there. See you right here after the game.
Catch Shania Twain, CBS Thanksgiving Thursday.
Chris Wenke has them up at the line of scrimmage, which is the 44-yard line of Florida. Jeff Chaney lined up to Wenke's left. They pitch it to Warwick. First down, a great move, and they slide down at the 34-yard line. First down to the 34. Here's Ed Cunningham.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's gotten a skosh noisy down here on the field. Eric Thomas, the senior center, is doing a great job with a silent snap count. They've used it every snap during this drive. He looks up at Wenke's foot. As soon as he raises his head, he snaps the ball, but he also waits for a second, and that's drawn Florida offside. He's done a fantastic job the whole game.
Our coaches were praising Thomas in our meetings this week for his great senior leadership in that offensive line. Morgan battling for an extra yard or two. Robert went out of bounds near the first down marker at the 25. And an impressive drive by Chris Wenke and the Seminoles after they squandered the lead for the first time today. Morgan just short of the first down marker. And it'll be second down and less than a yard. Warwick lined up as the quarterback in the shotgun.
This is smart, Sean. Get him the football in some different spots.
They're ready for him, and they drop him for a loss. Eugene McCaslin, a big play. Back to the 32-yard line.
John Hoke said McCaslin was one of the guys who would have to play big today. This is an outstanding play coming from the inside linebacker spot on the blitz. Warwick normally can make you miss, but that guy's a pretty good athlete, too. McCaslin was the starting running back in this ballgame last year. Makes a big play as the linebacker.
From second and 1 to third down and 8. Four-man rush. Wenke out of the gun. Dumps it short, and Andre Davis leveled Jeff Chaney from behind. Right at the line of scrimmage, the 32. Coach Bowden has a decision to make. This would be about a 49-yard field goal. Certainly Janikowski has the leg to get that done and tie up the ball game.
Two good plays by two linebackers in a row. First we saw McCaslin, now Davis with the big hit after the short catch by Chaney. Good defensive hold by the Gators.
This is a 49-yard try. Marcus Outson, the holder. Janikowski bidding to tie it. How good are these two kickers? Wow.
Flag down.
Flag down. They took too long to get it off. It won't count. Delay of game against Florida State.
Delay of the game. On the offense. 5 yards.
Now he's going to have to move back into the 53, 54-yard range, which he can do.
He's been perfect under 45 yards this year. He certainly has the leg to make this kind of a kick.
There isn't much breeze in the stadium. We checked in Michelle and Ed earlier. They said down in the field, really not much of a factor. But what little breeze there is into Janikowski's face. His career long is 56.
Sometimes the tendency on a longer field goal like this is to kick it a little bit lower to try to drive the ball. Let's see if Florida gets some push up on the inside to anticipate a lower kick.
This is a 54-yard try officially. It'll be his longest of the season. He made a 56-yarder in 97. That ball is good.
Look at my man.
Janikowski from 54 yards to tie the game at 16.
Hallmark Hall of Fame presents Glenn Close, Christopher Walken, and Jack Palance in a television event, Sarah Plain and Tall, Winter's End, CBS Sunday.
Sebastian Janikowski, a great weapon, and you know they made him use his mulligan even after he hit the first one right in the middle of the fairway, so he had another one right down the middle.
I'll tell you, we have seen some outstanding kicking in this ball game. Coming into today, Janikowski led the nation in field goals per game. Jeff Chandler was 4th in the nation in field goals per game, and neither one has disappointed in this ball game so far today.
And yet again, this matchup between Florida and Florida State is living up to the advanced billing, as it seems to every year, and it's hard to believe with all the hype that surrounds this game each year. Janikowski about 3 yards into the end zone for Bo Carroll. Out to the 24. There's Jarrell Hudson. Made the tackle. Time now for our Army teammates segment. In the 1997 Florida State-Florida game, Steve Spurrier rotated quarterbacks Noah Brindise and Doug Johnson on every play late in the 4th quarter. It was Johnson hooking up with wide receiver Jaquez Green, one of the most memorable plays in the history of this rivalry. A 63-yard reception that set up the winning score, a touchdown run by Fred Taylor. With a minute 50 remaining in the game, Taylor's 4th touchdown of the game, and Florida came from behind to win 32-29. Johnson hands it off straight ahead to Ernest Graham. Noah Brindise still in the program at Florida as a graduate assistant coach. There's Noah with the binoculars. And in that game, in 97, when he rotated play-by-play with Johnson, he was 5 for 9 for 100 yards. Brindise was a great story. Came here as a walk-on and became a prominent quarterback.
He's cut a lot of weight, too. He's got on Steve's everyday workout program for all his coaches, and he's dropped some weight. Looks really good.
Jesse Palmer on 2nd down. Lots of running room for Graham. He's tripped up from behind by Tommy Polley, the linebacker, but not before he picked up another 1st down after a gain of 15.
Sean, I felt from watching film of Florida State's defense that they are vulnerable to the screen because they like to come after the quarterback so much. Watch as this comes up the field. Tommy Polley gets caught inside, and he's concerned about the quarterback, and he loses track of the back coming out of the backfield, and it's a big play on the screen to Ernest Graham.
Tremendous speed demonstrated by Polley, who was a terrific basketball player in high school at Dunbar in Baltimore, Maryland. Carroll dumped for a loss by Corey Simon.
And there's a reason why this guy is a 2-time All-American. I mean, he is an outstanding player. Watch him explode off the ball in between the guard and center. No chance for Carlisle, and then wraps up the ball carrier. I mean, he is not just big and strong. He is very, very athletic. He's made some incredible plays in different ways this season for the Florida State defense.
Really a terrific person, too. An excellent student. Going to graduate in December. Very religious young man. Palmer hit as he threw, and it is batted down. Darrell Jackson in a battle with Mario Edwards for the ball. Tommy Polley put the hit on Jesse Palmer. I like what Corey Simon said about the need to stay humble. He took up golf this summer, and he's addicted to golf now. He said, because it keeps me humble.
That's what I use for it, too. My golf game.
There's Johnson back in on 3rd down and 13. The game tied at 16 in the final 3 minutes of the 3rd quarter.
And Doug Johnson's got to be thinking here, if I get what I want, make the play. If not, don't make a mistake here.
Movement might have been on the right side of the offensive line for Florida. Cheston Blackshear, perhaps.
Dead ball. Full strike. On the offense. 5 yards. Third down.
Sean, I made the point that Corey Simon is a very athletic nose guard. A couple weeks ago against Virginia, he drops into zone coverage and then dives and makes an interception. You don't see many nose guards do that. And then later in the game, right up the gut, and blocks a punt. The guy had double-digit tackles in the game as well from his nose guard position, but he is an incredible athlete for a defensive lineman.
Down the sideline now. On third down and 18. Jesse Palmer. Down the middle, incomplete. Looking for Travis Taylor, who was well covered by Reggie Durden. So the Noles hold on defense. Corey Simon, one of the 4 finalists for the Lombardi Award. An impressive group.
Yeah, the 2 Penn State guys, their season has gone a little bit sour here at the end. That other Corey's a heck of a football player, too. Corey Moore at Virginia Tech. Another outstanding defense this year.
Hokies helped their cause for the national championship today. Named on the field with a whooping of tempo. That punt is blocked. Ryan had it blocked. And Florida State will take over at the 21-yard line. It looked like Tommy Pauly again up the middle to block it.
They had 2 blocked punts last week against Maryland. They had a blocked punt against Virginia. And Pauly is the guy that's going to get it. Watch him get through on the inside here. Gets the great jump, gets to the direct line, and goes for where the ball's going to be. He doesn't go for the punter. He goes for where the ball's going to come off the foot. That's good aim point for Pauly as he stretches out and blocks the kick. Special teams are key. Who would make a big play? Florida State has just made one in the kicking game.
4th punt that Florida State has blocked. First punt that Ryan has had blocked this year. Inside handoff to Jeff Cheney. He dances inside the 20 and goes down to the 16-yard line. Boy, did Tommy Pauly make several big plays in a row when they run defense.
Was a heck of a series for him, wasn't it?
And then blocking the punt, the junior from Baltimore, who did play briefly on the Florida State basketball team in his first year on the campus before deciding to concentrate on football full-time. From the 16, 2nd and 5. And Kendra ran on late, lined up to the right of Winky. Winky with time, but some confusion between Winky and the receivers. Nobody near that aerial. That'll be 3rd down and 5. Winky 21 of 32 passing. Bobby Bowden's offense, 3 higher trips into the red zone, has scored 1 touchdown and has kicked 2 field goals.
Big 3rd down play here for Florida State. 5 of 12 now in the ball game.
After a 3-for-3 start.
Yep.
Flag down along the line of scrimmage. Another flag thrown in the offensive backfield. Cheney knocked down short of the first down, but there are 2 flags on the play. Benny Alexander and Marquand Manuel trying to put a pretty good lick on Cheney.
I think they're both going to go against Florida State.
Illegal motion on the offense. Offsides on the defense. Penalties decline. Repeat 3rd down.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, I think Steve agreed with you. He thought both were going against the Seminoles. Steve made an interesting comment yesterday. He said, you know, we've actually this year had a pretty good year with the officials. We've probably gotten more breaks than our opponents from the officials. To hear Steve say that was unbelievable.
But these aren't SEC officials today for them.
No.
These are ACC officials.
Still Jeff Cheney in there. Haven't seen Travis Minor on this possession. Another chance to convert on 3rd down and 5. Winky has some running room. He's going to take off. And he has the first down at the 11-yard line, perhaps. Very close. It looks from here as if he has it. Robert Cromartie chased him out. Weinke runs about a 4.840, but swift enough on that play.
Well, Alex Brown gets a pretty good charge and forces Weinke up the field, and then Chris makes a good decision here. He sees some open room. He knows he doesn't have the speed to outrun the Florida defense, but can get the first down. Heads-up play by Chris Weinke in the red zone.
1st and 10. Apparently, they could get another first down just shy of the goal line. Cheney bounces it outside and rides his legs down inside the 5 to the 2, where Eugene McCaslin made the tackle.
Great run. It looked like he was turned in from the sideline and just turned his shoulders back towards the goal line, kept his feet moving, and fell forward for about 4 more yards.
4 carries, 31 yards rushing for Jeff Cheney. That penalty was big. It was offsetting penalties, but it still gave Florida State another chance at the 3rd down conversion, and the Noles capitalized. Cheney, the tailback, running behind Kendra, the fullback. Another flag down. It is a touchdown if the play stands. And I think it will stand based on the reaction of those Gator defenders who could hear the officials conferring. Offside defense, touchdown, and the lead for Florida State.
Alex Brown was trying to shift into position and never really got set. And Florida State was onto their blocks. A nice job blocking on the right side by Florida State. Ryan Sprague, the tight end, got a good block. And a couple good runs by Cheney.
Janikowski to put the lead back to 7. With 34 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It's 23-16 FSU. A 2-yard touchdown run. And they needed just 5 plays, 21 yards after the block punt.
Take a look at the touchdown again. Little toss sweep out of the eye. Sprague, the tight end, with a nice block. Kendra there just in case anyone else shows up. No one else there. Jason Whitaker, the right guard, got a good block as well. And capitalizing on the big play by the special teams, the Noles put it in the end zone and take the lead.
Travis Minor's understudy, Cheney. Looks like Minor limping just a little bit. We'll get Ed Cunningham on the case. As a matter of fact, Ed's already on the case. Ed.
Travis Minor's a little gimpy, Sean. They took him out during that drive. He may play later in the game, but he was a little slow, so they wanted Jeff Cheney in for that final drive. He has a right ankle sprain, Sean.
Thanks, Ed. So Janikowski will kick off. Capel and Carroll, the 2 speedy track men. Back at the goal line.
The last kickoff by Janikowski was kind of like a pooch kick. It only went 2 yards deep in the end zone, and it was returnable.
There's had 4 kickoffs this year that go through the uprights. 2 others have bounced off the uprights. This one threatened the uprights, and Carroll downed it. 27 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Number 1, Florida State, trying to remain undefeated with a 7-point lead over number 3, Florida. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Michelle Tafoy, and Ed Cunningham on the sidelines. Delighted to have you with us. We had another head-to-head top 10 battle between these 2 in-state rivals. They managed to put on a show worthy of the incredible hype leading up to the game. Alternating quarterbacks throughout for Florida. It's Doug Johnson taking the first snap and finding Darrell Jackson. He spins and lunges close to the first down, just shy of the 30. Will be the spot. It'll be 2nd down and inches. On the completion to Jackson, the junior from Tampa. He was a terrific basketball player in high school. Averaged 23 points a game as a junior. At many top football, basketball schools recruiting him as a 2-sport athlete. He came here just to concentrate on football. The end of the 3rd quarter has arrived with Florida State still leading 23-16. We'll return to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
My driving test kind of got off to a bad start.
On calls like this,
Ford dealer is still the one with the best cars and the best deals, like the 2000 Escort.
Earlier this season, the faithful here at the Swamp saw their 30-game home winning streak snapped by Alabama. They don't want to see a second loss at home. Their team's down by 7. Jesse Palmer going deep. Hitter caught along the far sideline by the tight end Kirk Wells. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Florida State.
Great route by Wells as you see him coming off, holding that shoulder. Here he is here. Watch him run the little wheel route. Fakes the out route and then up the sideline. The outside receiver comes in on the post, and then as he outruns the linebacker, a perfect throw to Kirk Wells. Outstanding throw as he outran the safety, Chris Hope, for the big completion.
39-yard gain, longest reception of Wells' career. Johnson going for the end zone, and it is knocked down.
Wow. What a play by
play. Hey, Cody backpedaling, knocked it down when it looked like Travis Taylor was perfectly positioned for the game-tying touchdown.
Yeah, this ball had a bead right to Travis Taylor, and Cody at the last minute, at the height of his jump, gets his hand on the football and knocks it away. Great effort by Cody at the height of his jump to get a hand on the ball.
That'll set up 2nd and 10. The opening seconds of the 4th quarter. Florida State has led through most of this game. Jesse Palmer under a blitz. Swings it out to Bo Carroll. Great cut to the inside. Bo Carroll still on his feet and down at the 7-yard line. Derek Gibson saved the touchdown.
What a great play call by Steve Spurrier. It's against the blitz. Normally you keep your back in to block the blitz, but they run him away from the blitz. And Palmer just has to back up enough to get the football to Bo Carroll. Normally if the back's on that side, he's going to block the blitz. They went away from the blitz, and Bo Carroll shows you what he can do in the open field after he catches the football. Great play call at the right time, and then well executed by the Gators.
Carroll limped off after the tackle. A 25-yard gain. And a timeout used by Florida. Back to the Swamp after this.
Financial goals require solutions. Dreams deserve dedication. Success demands performance. If there's something you want to achieve, the principal has one word of advice. Plan ahead, get ahead. The Principal Financial Group.
Well, all right. Tailor-made Energel ball. Explosive distance, soft feel. I found them online and at 25 retail stores.
StoreRunner.com has shopping experts in every conceivable field, like Mark Anderson in sporting goods.
Ooh, Dunlop double titanium ball and a Callaway Hawkeye titanium driver. Am I right?
StoreRunner.com. Log on, let's shop.
iLink to connect the Sony Digital 8 Handycam to the VAIO PC, anything is possible.
VAIO.
Monday on Dave.
This is the week that all of these sidewalk Santas were released from rehab.
Don't miss Brian Gumble and Tony Bennett Monday. Then catch Craig Kilborn.
Bo Carroll still on the sidelines, but he looks ready to return. No timeouts left for Florida now with 14-15 remaining. First and goal. Johnson pass incomplete. No flags. Mario Edwards with excellent coverage on Travis Taylor.
And this is where Doug Johnson needs to keep his head together. We've seen him do this a couple times. Get upset with a call, go after the official. Got to keep his composure here, even though he's coming out on the next play. Here's the contact up here on the inside slant. There is contact. There is a hand on the jersey. Mario Edwards.
It was all over him. You could see Steve Spurrier's lips. And I think Steve was right. Johnson's right, but you're right. He has to stay poised.
Yeah.
Johnson's a lot like Steve Spurrier.
Yeah, he is.
From a personality standpoint. Very, very competitive, very feisty. Set it in goal. Jesse Palmer now in there. The blitz. Great call. The tight end, Kinney, stuffed at the goal line. And a flag down. Derek Gibson with a huge hit on the 272-pounder Kinney, who looked certain to rumble in for the tying score. Gibson just 207. Stood him up at the goal line.
For holding on the offense.
Another critical penalty, holding against Florida. 12 penalties against the Gators for 78 yards.
It happened right here in the middle. Corey Yarbrough, after he snapped the ball, again, the quick burst by Simon up the field, and you see the left arm of Yarbrough around the neck of Corey Simon. A good call by the officials, just the great anticipation in getting off the football by Corey Simon. Very tough for the center to make that block.
Both teams heavily penalized today. Doug Johnson in at quarterback. They're back at the 18-yard line, second and goal. Johnson gets it off. Caught by Rod Frazier. Just his second touch of the year. He has no carries and now 2 receptions. Jerry Johnson had Doug Johnson wrapped up, but Doug got the ball off for a gain to the 13-yard line. Kirk Wells just went to the Florida dressing room. The backup tight end appeared to injure his shoulder on the long reception down the far sideline a moment ago.
Well, this is good presence by Johnson. It's a little bit like Brett Favre. You see him do that a lot in the NFL, going down to the ground and just kind of flipping it forward to the back. Good job of avoiding the negative yardage play on the sack by Doug Johnson.
Shel Tafoya tells us Kirk Wells has a broken collarbone and is gone, obviously, for the rest of the day. They need to snap it. Didn't look like they got it off. And here come the officials.
And they had no timeout, so Palmer could not call timeout to avoid the penalty.
It's a delay of game penalty. So the play does not stand. And the Florida offense will have another shot at it.
And the 13th penalty on the Florida Gators. I mean, Florida State is tough enough to beat their defense, but when you help them with penalties, it's very tough. They just didn't get the play off in time.
And Spurrier's reaction. Now it's Johnson back in. The ball back at the 18 again. Third down and goal. 12.5 minutes left in regulation time. Johnson with a lot of time. Zipped one. Intercepted at the goal line by Chris Hope. Second interception thrown by Doug Johnson. 4th interception of the season for Hope, the sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina.
And Sean, he just forced it. I mean, he's going for Darrell Jackson. He's trying to get the touchdown, and Darrell Jackson is not open. Chris Hope is in front of the receiver, and Doug Johnson, rather than drumping it off and kicking the field goal, gets a little greedy, and now the Gators come away with nothing.
Hope, a former USA Today All-American and South Carolina State Player of the Year as a senior in high school. Played last year as a true freshman in every game as a backup at free safety. Huge interception. Marcus Outzen is at quarterback. From the 2. He's in there to sneak it and get perhaps a yard. Andre Davis, Keith Kelsey leading the defensive surge. And not only has Hope been a standout on the field, but he's been boning up in the classroom. He is our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete Award winner. The free safety, 3.5 grade point average in undergraduate studies. Rigid Tools commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Florida State's General Scholarship Fund. Winky's pass incomplete, thrown at the feet of Peter Warrick. And a big play here. Florida would love to force a punt from the back line to the end zone again.
Yeah, the good news for the Gators is there's a lot of time left, and if they can hold here, they'll get good field position again if they can force a punt.
Winky with Cheney and Kendra in the eye behind him. Still no Travis Minor with that ankle injury. Cheney just did escape the end zone. Keith Kelsey hit him very near the goal line. Cheney got it back out to the 3, but they'll have to punt from the back line to the end zone again.
Well, a couple things on this interception. The tight end and the back are kind of the check downs, but Doug Johnson's going for the touchdown. If it's there, great on the 3rd and long. But if it's not there, maybe you got to look for someone to dump it off to. Good coverage by the Seminoles, but you can't throw it into coverage and come away with nothing to show for it.
Cottrell's had a great day punting, averaging better than 51 per boot. Bill Carroll standing at the FSU 45.
Another good punt.
And a fair catch. He had 10 yards of running room and made the fair catch at midfield. He cost himself at least 7 or 8 yards on a return. Nobody near him. A 48-yard punt. Another beauty by Cottrell.
So instead of paying a separate commission every time you trade, you'd pay an annual fee, trade all you want.
All I want?
Yeah, virtually unlimited.
Really?
Remember the financial plan we're working from here, Dad. The point is long-term capital appreciation.
I know, I know.
We just don't want you sitting by the computer all day buying and selling stocks.
Yeah, yeah. Show me how I log on to your research.
Oh, that's easy. Investing is serious business, Dad.
I promise I'll do my homework, okay?
This is your new business. And this is your new car. The new Volvo V40. Now get back to work. Every bit of Volvo for about $24,000.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
Shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Office Depot, taking care of business.
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Merrill Lynch, Volvo, Office Depot, and by SAP.
The Florida State defense will be defending a short field as Florida takes over at its own 49-yard line after the excellent punt by Cottrell out of the back of the end zone. Ernest Graham is the tailback. Doug Johnson faked it to him and threw over the middle to Rod Frazier. He was chopped down by Cleveland Thomas. Live aerial views of the swamp are provided by Budweiser's own Bud One airship, proud supporters of college athletics.
Sean, this game has so much significance all around the country and in the state of Florida. I mean, so many of these players are familiar with each other. I mean, 48 starters in the game, 35 of them played high school football in the state of Florida. A lot of them know each other, played against each other. A lot of bragging rights in this football game.
Palmer hands off to Ernest Graham. He is stacked up short of a first down at the 43. Another big play on defense by Chris Hope. And here's Tim Brando.
Sean and Todd, Notre Dame will be home for the holidays for the second time in 3 years. The reason, Boston College. Tim Hasselbeck here to Jamal Burke, 34 yards. BC's now 8-2, could be headed to the Gator or the Insight.com. And don't forget, many of you will see Boston College against number 2 Virginia Tech. Big game where the BCS is concerned, or Arkansas LSU on Friday on CBS.
What a job Tom O'Brien and his staff have done at Boston College. With a scandal-ridden program, and now they're 8-2. Ripping through the middle. First down, Ernest Graham to the 30-yard line. Hope and Durden made the tackle. A rumble of 13 for the redshirt freshman.
Well, the center got caught with the hold. This time he gets a great block on Corey Simon. Turns him to the outside, and that allows Ernest Graham to get in behind his center. Nice block by Corey Yarbrough on Corey Simon, and a big run for the Florida Gators.
41 yards rushing for Graham on 10 carries. 83 yards rushing in the game today. Much better than the 17 they posted in Tallahassee last year in their loss. For Darrell Jackson, incomplete. No flags again. Very tight coverage by Cleveland Thomas.
And I know you're allowed to kind of have some bumping and contact as long as you're on the same plane as the receiver, but man, oh man, this looked like there was too much contact at the end as Jackson's coming back into the football. I don't know.
Second and 10 from the 30. 9:24 remaining. Florida down by a touchdown and out of timeout.
Play clock's going down again.
Johnson, the handoff. Bo Carroll spins ahead for nothing. Tommy Polley and Chris Woods in on the stop, and it'll be third down and 10.
And that was a wasted play. I mean, it was second down. They were trying to audible. The play clock was running down, and they called a play. You can't afford to just throw plays away. I mean, one of the things that Steve Spurrier is trying to do with this system is to make sure we get in the right plays. That time, they were in a bad play and just wasted a second down play and bring up 3rd and 11.
Out of the shotgun, Jesse Palmer. High snap over his head. And he goes down on a knee to field it back at midfield. That takes him out of field goal range. And really, just more of the same, a season-long pattern of critical mistakes at the wrong time by Florida. And that's been the case over and over again today. A 20-yard loss on this play.
Well, we've covered Florida 5 times this year, and they're in the shotgun a good percentage of the time, and we've never seen that one. But that time, Corey Yarbrough sailed it over Jesse Palmer's head.
The senior experienced center. And here's the punting team. And Ryan just got that one off. That one blocked moments ago. Durden caught it and returned it to the 22. A 36-yard punt and a 5-yard return by Durden. Steve Spurrier frustrated again today. With 8:02 to play, his team is down by 7.
Kate works in the city of E, the first virtual place on the internet, built by SAP, used by 10,000 companies and millions of people. When she needs medical supplies, her choices are endless. The world is her market, and by saving hours of time and thousands of dollars, she helps save something more important than both. MySAP.com. Welcome to the city of E.
Introducing the Sprint PCS wireless web phone by Motorola. The power of the internet is in your hand.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
CBS tonight. Chuck Norris infiltrates a prison fight club.
The guards are staging fights with the prisoners.
Will he defeat his toughest opponents yet?
What if you don't fight him?
You die.
WWF's Randy Savage and Ultimate Fighter Frank Shamrock guest star in an all-new Walker. CBS tonight.
Number 1, Florida State. And has finished a perfect regular season. Has a 7-point lead with 8 minutes to play. And the ball first and 10. And it's on 22, setting up a screen. Good catch by Jeff Cheney on a high winky toss. Breaking tackles is Cheney. Now with some room along the far sideline. He turned a certain loss into a 9-yard gain. Daryl Dixon took Cheney down. So apparently that ankle is still problematic for Travis Minor.
Well, this is good defense by Florida at the outset. I mean, they read the screen and they run to the football extremely well, but then they don't make the tackle. Again, yards after contact, after the catch, Cheney with the good play.
And on second and short, it's Dan Kendra. Bowling his way forward. Close to the first down marker at the 32. Ed Cunningham tells us from the sideline, as you look at the numbers for Peter Warrick, that Travis Minor is available to play, but the coaches have elected to go with Cheney.
That's the key number right there. His long gain on a catch, only 11 yards. So Florida has done a very nice job of throwing different looks at him, different coverages, and really limiting his big plays.
First down. Well, the Florida sideline, after the punt coverage by Van Es Gooch a moment ago, he dislocated his shoulder while making the tackle, and he's gone for the rest of the day. He's primarily, almost exclusively, a special teams player.
The thing John Hoke knows about a guy like Peter Warrick is you just can never let up. I mean, you may have contained him for 3.5 quarters, but he still has the ability to beat you in one play.
Any kind of a score here for Florida State will be huge, and they don't have very far to go with Janikowski as their field goal kicker. Winky has Warrick open. Down to the 30-yard line of Florida, where Eugene McCaslin made the touchdown-saving tackle.
They moved him around, and they got him matched up on a linebacker, Eugene McCaslin. He tried to knock him off his route. He didn't get enough out of him. And again, you can hold him down, you can contain him, but you can never let up on Peter Warrick because he is capable of killing you.
No longer is the 11-yard catch the longest of the day for Warrick. That one for 38 yards. 9 catches, 90 yards receiving for Warrick. They're at the 30, in field goal range for Janikowski. Winky takes the play clock down to 1. Handed it to Cheney. He broke free from the tackle of Marquand Manuel for a moment. Stumbled ahead for 3 to the 27. Manuel, the sophomore from Miami. He has 17 brothers and sisters.
Right now, Chris Wenke, Sean, is thinking, I'm gonna keep my team's momentum, but I'm gonna use as much of this play clock as I can. I'm gonna go down inside of 5 seconds as often as I can.
Winky going toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Marvin Minnis! Third touchdown reception of the season for the junior from Miami. Janikowski with 6:03 to go. Gives Florida State its largest lead, 14 points now, 30 to 16. Chris Wenke has been terrific, particularly in crucial situations today.
Great day in the morning. What once was lost now is found.
I thought these were extinct.
That's what they said about the coelacanth.
A full-size bear, just one of over 40 features now standard on the new Jetta.
It's a prehistoric fish. Disappeared over 10,000 years ago, and they caught one off the coast of Madagascar. Coelacanth.
The time is now. The wait is over. The world is yours.
First things first.
2 thumbs up. Totally explosive. The best Bond film ever. The world is not enough. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Now without a prescription, Lamisil AT for athlete's foot. So powerful, it cures with just 1 week's use. These take 4. So powerful, 3 months later, you're still athlete's foot free. Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
AT&T, 7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Take one of these. That'll be 25 cents.
But it says here it's a nickel.
Not for a couple of hours.
What?
Well, see, sometimes it's a nickel, but right now, it's a quarter.
It's like that long-distance nickel plan where they say it's a nickel.
Sometimes they charge you 25.
That's right.
That's where we got the idea.
Is that right?
7 cents a minute, all day, every day, even to Canada with our international plan.
You know, there are some stores that sell candy for one low price all day long.
And people like it?
Oh, they love it.
Call 1-800-41-RATE to enroll. It's Thanksgiving at Ray's.
Yeah, I'm wearing my stretchy pants.
Guess who's teaching Ray's wife to cook?
Can't be in the kitchen with your mother. That's the belly of the beast.
All new Raymond, CBS Monday.
Sebastian Janikowski kicks off. Formed it again through the back of the end zone. Florida up against it now with 5:58 to go. And Janikowski hot dogs his way off the field.
This is the touchdown, Marvin Minnis. Now, it's a great throw by Wenke, but after Minnis gets forced inside, watch him widen back out away from the safety to go to the football. It's a great throw by Wenke, and the Florida State coaches, Mark Richt, right here, celebrating the touchdown. A beautiful throw by Chris Wenke and a nice adjustment by Minnis.
Wenke's been terrific. Bobby Bowden said there wasn't another quarterback in America he'd rather have in this big game. Doug Johnson, swing pass. Ernest Graham, a 1-yard gain, and that's it. Corey Simon ran him down, and now the question is, Todd, can you stick with the rotating quarterbacks play-by-play when you kind of need to get into a hurry-up mode?
Well, you've got to hurry up, and right now they are keeping Johnson in the game. As you look at Chris Wenke's numbers, since the interception that was returned for a touchdown and put Florida ahead, Chris Wenke has been sensational. In a hostile environment, 8 of 10, 107 yards and a touchdown. And there's the man who caught that touchdown pass, Marvin Minnis.
Johnson's 14 for 29 passing. He's thrown 2 critical interceptions. Darrell Jackson, the reception, out to the 38-yard line. Tomorrow on the NFL Today, we hope you'll join Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry for all the latest NFL news. Marcus Allen looks at the Buffalo Bills' rejuvenated Bruce Smith. Jerry takes a motorcycle ride with Mike Holmgren, all coming up tomorrow at noon Eastern on the NFL Today. Then for all the scores and highlights, stay tuned for the NASDAQ halftime report.
Sean Palmer is in now because the first down stopped the clock. So whenever they possibly make the first down and get a time stoppage, they'll switch quarterback.
Palmer with just a 3-man rush. Waving to his receiver, Darrell Jackson. Found the spot Palmer pointed to. He's all the way to the 31-yard line of Florida State, where Brian Allen hit him. 7 catches now for Jackson. Another 100-yard receiving game with 104.
Nice job by Jackson, just kind of finding a little hole. 8 guys dropping into coverage. That's why there wasn't a huge pass rush, and Jackson just found a little soft spot and waited for the football.
Bo Carroll and Doug Johnson back on the field for Florida. 4:35 remaining. No timeouts left for the Gators. Again, just a 3-man rush. Johnson looking for Darrell Johnson. There's a flag.
Can't get out of his pocket, but it's an interference.
Tay Cody just reached out and pulled Darrell Jackson down. Mickey Andrews very upset. You wonder if he believes the ball was uncatchable.
Well, Darrell Jackson had Cody beaten. As Cody comes back, he has no idea where the football is and just tackles the receiver. You know, and again, the difference in college and the NFL. In the NFL, that penalty puts the ball on the 1-yard line. In college, it's not so horrible of a penalty because they don't put it at the spot of the foul.
You surprised 3-man rush in this situation?
A little bit. I bet they don't 3-man rush here. Mickey Andrews thinking, you know, they've got to score twice. This defense was effective for us against them last year. And it's been pretty effective today so far. But they are going to rush 3 again on this play.
There's Jesse Palmer at the helm. Flag down at the line of scrimmage. Palmer trying to get out of bounds. He wisely ran it out of bounds to stop the clock. Bobby Rhodes hold of the jersey of Palmer as he crossed the sideline. Let's check out the flag.
One of the reasons this defense can be effective in the red zone, Sean, is because you don't have to defend depth. I mean, they can only run so deep in their pass pattern. So if you drop 8 and you're playing a 3 deep coverage with your safeties and corners, there just aren't many places to throw the football.
Ryan Allen looking to the sideline for some guidance. It's against Florida.
Illegal procedure on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat, first down.
14 penalties, 88 yards against Florida. Here are the quarterback numbers, and Steve talks about how the quarterbacks are virtually identical in size and skill, and right at 50%, the yardage almost identical, although Johnson has attempted 12 more passes. He's also made the 2 big mistakes while throwing, 2 interceptions, including one at the goal line. Johnson is the quarterback of the 21. First and 15. Bo Carroll down at the 10, and the clock will run. Jamal Reynolds, who's been a standout all day for Florida State, made the tackle. The clock's going to run under 4 minutes by the time the next snap takes place.
Florida really working with the handicap right now of not having any timeouts. And they've got to really be smart and work the sideline with their throws and hustle in and out of the huddle. Right now, they've got to save every precious second that they can and get out of the huddle and run the play.
Not much urgency here. The play clock is at 8. Snapped on 7. Palmer throws to the sideline. First down, out of bounds, Travis Taylor. At the 3-yard line, Mario Edwards made the tackle, so that stops the clock with 3:36 left.
It's one thing to take your time and be casual getting out of the huddle when that clock is stopped. It's a completely another thing to do it when that clock is running. Steve Spurrier talking to Jesse Palmer right there, saying, hey, it was a good throw, but man, we wasted too much time getting that play off.
Doug Johnson on first and goal. Here comes the all-out blitz. Touchdown! Is it a catch? Yes, it is for Brian Haugebrook. First time they've thrown it to him today. Just his 11th catch of the year. 3rd touchdown for Haugebrook. And the Gators will kick the extra point, try to get within 7 with 3:33 left.
Very short throw for Doug Johnson. It's just like a little push throw right inside. You just want to get inside position, and Haugebrook did it, working on Durden, and a touchdown Gators.
And there was a catch. The possession came down with the ball before it was stripped away. They haven't thrown it all to Haugebrook lately. 11 catches for the year, as we've said. 6 of those came in the opener against Central Florida.
Between Steve and Mickey Andrews, we have 2 of the most animated guys to watch on the sideline. They are good television, those 2 coaches.
Well, now you wonder, with no timeouts, even though there's 3:33 left, do you go for the onside kick? You kick it deep and rely on your defense, just a couple of first downs, and you're in big trouble. Yeah, of course, if you onside kick and don't get it, they don't have very far to go at the very least to get into Janikowski's field goal range.
That's why those coaches get paid the big bucks, I guess, to make that decision, Sean. I mean, your defense has played pretty well for Florida, but as you said, no timeouts. I mean, if they make a first down or 2, you've got no chance.
And that's another one of those little things we talk about that Florida doesn't always do very well, managing the timeouts. Tonight on CBS, America's Night of Heroes is all new, beginning with Early Edition, followed by Martial Law, starring Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall. Then Chuck Norris goes head-to-head with WCW's Randy Savage and Ultimate Fighter Frank Shamrock in Walker, Texas Ranger. It's all new, and it's all tonight on CBS.
Florida State anticipating the onside kick. They have their hands team on the field. Peter Warwick, the only deep safety. So the Gators, or the Seminoles, anticipating the onside kick. Onside kicks are tougher in college football because you can't put everybody over on the same side. You have to have a certain number on each side.
And Florida State apparently wanted a timeout.
Like the basketball, you know, come out, see how they line up for the inbounds play, and call a timeout.
1 timeout left for Florida State. Well, this has become arguably the greatest rivalry in college football, certainly the most meaningful when you talk about its relevance in the national championship picture. But in terms of history, pageantry, pure emotion, regardless of records, to me, nothing compares with the ball game we'll have for you in 2 weeks. From Philadelphia, Army and Navy. That's December 4th at noon Eastern Time. Great theater.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to doing this game today, and just as much looking forward to doing that game, because it's a completely different ball game, but it's a fun thing to experience.
A big test upcoming for number 2 Virginia Tech on Friday on CBS against Boston College. They should not be dismissed. BC 8-2 could easily be 10-0. They blew a huge second-half lead against Miami. They blew a 14-0 lead against Temple. Their 2 losses, Arkansas and LSU, part of the regional coverage Friday at 2:30. While you're still digesting your turkey.
You know, there's a lot of speculation that Nebraska would have a chance to jump Virginia Tech if they would win their last 2 games. But that win by Boston College today, I think, really helps Virginia Tech. And you can't really completely project the numbers.
They do try an onside kick. And it is smothered by Florida State. Good hands by Todd Fryer, a reserve defensive back. His brother Matt had great hands at Florida State. He was a talented wide receiver on their '93 national championship team. And without any timeouts, Steve decided to go for the onside kick. And it looked like Chandler aimed it in a pretty good spot. You see that big gap in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he aimed for right here. It looked like they were going to kick it all the way to the left, and Fryer, very lucky to hang on to that. He actually ran past the football, but was able to reach back and secure it. He ran past it and was still able to get it, and Marquand Manuel, the closest Gator, is still down on the field hurt. Going for the football, injured on the play.
Terrific hands by Fryer. That's why he's in there in the good hands team. And he was fortunate that one of those on-rushing Florida players didn't give him a pretty good shot while that ball was up around his shoulder pads. It likely would have come loose.
And that's normally what you do on an onside kick. The first wave or the first guy down towards the ball is to just hit the guy trying to recover it, and the next guy tries to come and make the recovery.
Emmanuel up on his feet and walking off briskly. As we mentioned, at the very least now, Florida State is almost in Janikowski field goal range right now. They certainly don't have very far to go. 3:28 left. 7-point lead for the number 1 team in the nation. Trying to complete a perfect regular season at 11-0. Ranky pitches to Cheney. They don't hand it off to the receiver coming around. And Todd Johnson leads the defensive surge at the 42-yard line.
Now, a couple of things, if you're Florida, that you have to try to do here. You don't want to try to just strip the football. You got to be thinking stop right now. Let's try to stop them and make them do something on 4th down. And as soon as the tackle is made, get off the pile quick. Run back to the huddle. Don't let Florida State waste time because you won't get off the pile. No timeouts. You've got to do other things to keep this thing moving.
2nd and 8. Object thrown on the field. What a shame. A lemon thrown onto the field.
We talked about what Florida does in this situation. If you're Chris Wanke now, you're thinking we got to get a 1st down. Stay in bounds. Tell your running backs to protect the football. Stay in bounds. Don't stop the clock.
Steve's upset because they reset the play clock to 25 seconds. That really hurt Florida, that lemon coming out of the field. Because the play clock was down around 10, I'm just guessing, when that lemon came out, and they reset it to 25. Cheney. This really isn't field goal range you would think right now. It'd be about a 60-yard field goal. Well, if anybody in college football can make it, it's Sebastian Janikowski. Anthony Mitchell and Gerard Warren laid the tackle. So those could be a precious few seconds that ticked off when the lemon came out of the stands.
3 of 3 on field goals today. I think that makes him 9 of 9 against Florida in his career. He's been 3 of 3 each year.
Another crucial 3rd down play. been a recurring theme throughout. Must-stop situation for the Gators. Very safe play call. Cheney didn't get the first down. He went down to the 39, so from here it'd be about a 56-yard field goal. You do run the risk of a blocked field goal.
I'm not so sure you don't punt this football. I mean, punt it and make them go, you know, hopefully your kicker, Cottrell, can knock it out inside the 10 and make them go 90 yards plus for a touchdown.
Last year, Bobby Bowden had a critical late-game decision. With a 1-point lead down near the goal line, he elected to kick the field goal, take a 4-point lead in the final minutes. And then, of course, Jaquez Green and Fred Taylor combined on the big plays that gave Florida the come-from-behind win.
First, he's going to take the 5-yard delay of game penalty, run as much clock off as he can, down to a minute 6. Yeah. I think he wanted to punt anyway. I think he just was going to take the penalty and punt the football and play defense.
Oh, Steve Spurrier still upset about the resetting of the play clock, I believe. And all kinds of miscues today by the Florida Gators to put this in their predicament.
Yeah, they were down in there with some momentum. The holding penalty on Yarbrough, then the ill-advised throw for the interception by Doug Johnson.
Cottrell to punt. Very high. Fair catch called for and made by Bo Carroll at the 12-yard line. So if Bobby Bowden's defense can prevent an 88-yard drive in 59 seconds without any timeouts for Florida, they'll finish the regular season with a perfect 11-0 record and undoubtedly they're making their reservations for the Sugar Bowl and the national championship game in New Orleans. They've been here before, but have never had a perfect season. Bobby Bowden, after 46 years in coaching, I'm due for one undefeated season. Maybe this will be the year.
Been a strange year for him. Great success on the field. Some real distressing things off the field.
They've won 20 in a row in the regular season since the loss at NC State early last year. Flag is down. Long pass. Caught! That is Taylor Jacobs, the true freshman, to midfield. That's reminiscent of Jaquez Green 2 years ago. Flag down at the line. There was movement. Offside, Florida State decline. First down at midfield. They gained 38 yards on just one play.
Unbelievable. Tay Cody just couldn't find the football. I mean, he's right there running with Jacobs, but he couldn't find the football. And Florida, all of a sudden, now at midfield.
51 seconds left. They picked up 38 yards in fewer than 10 seconds. Just the 6th catch of the year for Taylor Jacobs. Just a 3-man rush again. Johnson going deep down the far sideline through the hands of Mario Edwards. Trying a game-clinching interception, but he couldn't haul it in. Darrell Jackson, the intended receiver.
If you're Doug Johnson or Jesse Palmer, whoever's playing right now, what you've got to be thinking is you can't give up the sack. I mean, you can throw an incompletion, but you can't give up the sack. You can't stop the clock. You've got to keep things moving forward.
Now, with this much time left, you can go down the middle of the field as long as it's beyond first down distance, because the clock will stop to move the chains.
Don't dump it off in the middle of the field. If you're throwing in the middle, make sure you throw it beyond first down yardage.
It's a 3-man rush again. Spurrier sticking with Doug Johnson. He throws. That's a terrible decision. Short of the first down marker. Caught by Travis Taylor, and the clock will run. A gain only to the 44-yard line.
Now, if they use the clock play here, then that brings up 4th down. You just can't throw it there in the middle of the field short of the first down.
Jesse Palmer on 3rd down and 5. Throws. Incomplete. And it comes down to one play with 10 seconds left. And we talked earlier, the biggest criticism that Spurrier has about Doug Johnson is his decision-making. And as a senior quarterback, under these circumstances, we just talked about it, you can't throw the ball short in the middle of the field.
If you have no timeouts, the clock will stop if you get a first down. If you're going to throw in the middle, you have to throw beyond the first down. You can't throw the football there and let that clock run.
4th and 5. Must convert and must stop the clock somehow. Johnson in there. Throws. First down. He gets down at the 35. They'll have time. Well, the clock's still running down to 2. Steve's telling him to clock it, that if that 2 seconds goes by, they won't get another play off. They clock it. The clock stopped with 1 second left. Flag thrown. Didn't look like anybody was set. But Florida won't mind that as long as they get another snap and a chance to heave it into the end zone.
Yeah, all they want is one shot to throw it into the end zone. But on an offensive penalty, they've got to be ready to snap the ball.
Well, I don't know why with 2 seconds left, if you had them up over center, you just don't go ahead and snap the ball. Because you're running the risk of that clock, and you're relying on the quick finger of the clock operator to give you a chance at another play. Officials seem a little bit perplexed here. Bobby Bowden 1 second away from a perfect regular season. What is the call? It looked like he fumbled the snap before he ever really did clock it. I don't think they were ever set either. Yeah, that ball never got up to be clocked.
We got a 10 injury on the offense. 5 yards. Lost them down. Second down.
Well, lost down means nothing. But now they have to be ready to go on the snap. Right on the referee's whistle. They get the snap off. This play will count. They have to score a touchdown. Palmer, the quarterback, walks into the end zone. Jump ball there. It is incomplete. Batted down, and Florida State is going to play for the national championship after a perfect regular season.
Your team has played better games both at home on the road. What hurt most today?
Yeah, we played giveaway today. We couldn't even line up. Can't line up on the 1 yard line. It's awful, the mental errors we make. Didn't give ourselves a chance. We had a good chance, had a good plan, but we just didn't do it. We beat ourselves today, unfortunately.
They could be in trouble.
0 of 3 on third down. Ryan underneath. Out to the 38-yard line.
A smart decision by Ryan. He had nothing deep down the field. Got the ball to his man right away.
Denver Williams made the catch.
Good field position move.
Anthony Durazo. With Anthony Williams deep. Williams. Anthony Williams. He will go. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. No flags. 72 yards.
And it's about speed. I'm not talking about the speed in the open field. I'm talking about the burst that he used when he had 5 guys around him. He didn't want power. He didn't want to juke. He used his speed to get himself away. And as much as Youngstown State talked about coming in and pounding, Georgia Southern talked to their guys about using their speed. And that was a great example of it.
Youngstown State is in shock. So much so that they've called a timeout just to get the right personnel on for this kick.
Well, speed can paralyze you, pal.
Right now, the Eagles are soaring.
Great moments in college sports make great memories and often inspire great achievement beyond the game. Come see it all at the Hall, the new NCAA Hall of Champions, a place to relive the action, savor the memories, discover what it means to be a true champion, and that might be the greatest moment sports has ever produced. The NCAA Hall of Champions, opening in downtown Indianapolis in March 2000.
Anthony Williams and Georgia Southern have raced to a 37-14 lead over Youngstown State. Chris Chambers with the extra point. 38-14.
72 yards, and he covered that in a hurry. Watch him on this. We talked about his speed. Watch how he outruns the tacklers in here, uses his speed, and you'll see it move, and then right now, freeze it. Right there. Look at all the guys around him. He's got an angle. He's got an angle. He's got an angle. Ain't going to happen. He just turns on the jets, outruns everybody. That is speed. That's not using any moves. It's saying, I have the jets. I'm going to make it happen. 150-pound freshman.
You know, Georgia Southern, they are getting big plays from a lot of different places.
Yeah, and when people run past you like that, it'll make you look like that. You'll be kind of bummed.
Jim Tressel and Youngstown State have been down before, but being down against a running team and an offensive juggernaut like Georgia Southern is a whole different story.
Well, and it's more than just that being down. It's because of the mental taxing that you take when you try to play against an option team. You have to stay mentally into every play. If you make a mistake, it's a home run. And so you can't let that happen. That's the tough thing about the position Youngstown State is in right now. Their defense, they can't take a play off anymore.
Georgia Southern is the Mark McGuire of 1AA football. Andre Coleman. And Coleman's loose. He falls down at the 38-yard line. 38 yards on the return. 2 minutes left in his first half.
Here you'll see the return, and they set up the wedge really nicely right there. Nice wedge, and he does a nice job of seeing the hole there and then trying to get inside of it. But once again, good speed by Georgia Southern. Moreland does a nice job of being right where he needs to be as a safety man on the return to shut it down.
Erwin Moreland with the stop. And now, Youngstown State with 2 minutes left, trying to salvage something from this first half. Ryan. That won't get it done. To the 42, Freddie Pesqueda, who has been all over Jeff Ryan, made the stop.
This defense is really stepping it up. They're getting a chance to use their speed, and that's so important to them. They get confidence from that. That first couple of series we looked at, Rich, they were being pounded. They were in a nice little box, and they got pounded out of that position. Now with the lead, look at the field is spread now. All these receivers out here. Speed can negate that. 5 wide receivers.
Ryan's throw is caught out to the 43-yard line. Denver Williams made the stop.
Georgia Southern got it going in the second quarter with defense. A nice stuff right down here. Johnson couldn't get inside, and then they started putting pressure on Ryan. Allen inside. Allen once again beating a double team. That speed and that strength inside.
Third down. Ryan's going to tuck it and pay the price. Short of the first down at the 47-yard line. If you're Jim Tressel, do you go for it here?
Man, you know, with 39 seconds going, I'm not sure I'd want to take a chance on anything. I'd be happy to get into the locker room at this point and try to regroup.
Well, he's not going to stop the clock. He's going to let the clock roll.
And if you don't make it, though, with this option, one play could put them in position for a field goal.
Play clock at 5, so the clock will stop at about 13 seconds. And at that point, you're going to have to kick it, I would expect. Yeah, and here comes the punt unit.
Yeah, he doesn't want them to have a chance of doing anything. Yeah, get to the locker room, try to regroup, try to figure out what you're going to do about this option. The dive has killed them. The quarterback on the perimeter has killed them. And the pitch has killed them. They haven't been able to take away anything.
Well, I don't know if kicking to Anthony Williams is any picnic either.
I bet they don't kick it to him. You better kick this one out of bounds, but don't kick it to Williams. He's showing you his ways.
That will be pretty easy because Williams is not on the field right now. It looks like Georgia Southern isn't buying this. They're just going to put their defense on and let Razzo kick it deep with no one back to receive it. They are still aware of the fake.
You know, Rich, when we talked to Paul Johnson earlier this week, he sounded supremely confident about his team and his offense. And we said, well, what happens to stop your offense from running and throw the ball? He went, well, nobody has stopped it.
He's right. This one is going to roll dead, and the time is going to roll right off the clock. Very quiet on the Youngstown State sideline. 38-14, Georgia Southern on top. Don McPherson is with Paul Johnson. Donnie?
Coach, extraordinary half by Adrian Peterson, 157 yards on 15 carries. Do you ride this kid to a championship?
Well, I don't know. We still got a half to go, but he's playing well, and whole offense is executing well. And after the first couple series, we've got them where maybe now they can't run the ball, and that's our game if we can stop them from running. But still 30 minutes to go. They've come back all year, and we got to continue to play hard.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck to you in the second half. Rich, back up to you.
Good work, Donnie Mack. Georgia Southern on top in this 1AA championship game. 38-14 at the half. Let's head to the studios. And Brian Kenny. Brian?
Rich, thank you very much. Brian Kenny, John McAvey.